A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. A call comes into the office. A woman says her husband is dead. She thinks he's been murdered. Your job, investigate.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, July 8th. It was sunny in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. It was 11:03 a.m. when we got to 906 South Norwood Street. Front door. Hi, Friday and Smith, homicide.
How are you? Carly, 1F14.
Hi, Carly.
Mrs. Pilson, the victim's wife, is back in the bedroom. Pretty broken up about it.
Uh-huh. What about the victim?
Name's George Pilson, age 57. No children. Just he and his wife live here. That's about all I got. She cried so much I thought it might be better to let her rest until you got here.
That's a good idea. Where's the body?
In the other bedroom, I'll show you.
All right.
Because she thought so bad, I thought maybe she'd like me to call her doctor. Said she didn't want any.
Uh-huh.
Mrs. Pilson's right across the hall.
Right. That's a head wound.
Yeah. Looks like somebody was serious.
Yeah. Now we're going to need the lab and latent prints.
You want me to call him?
Yeah. Better call the coroner, too, will you, please?
Right.
Thank you. The way he's lying here, position of his hands outside the covers, doesn't look like there was much of a struggle, does it?
Oh. Could have been asleep when he got it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Better talk to his wife, huh?
Yeah.
Miss Pilson. Miss Pilson, police officers.
Who is it?
Police officers, would like to talk to you. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am, but we'd appreciate it if you tell us what you know about all this.
All right. You want to go in the front room?
All right, that'll be fine. You go ahead, please.
I couldn't talk to the other policeman.
We understand.
Calls are all in, Sergeant. Anything else I can do?
No, thanks, Carly. We'll handle it now.
Right, I'll shove off.
Miss Pilson, this is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Uh-huh.
How you, ma'am?
This is like so many other mornings. Except nobody sat in his chair like you are, Mr. Friday. I used to sit here and it was quiet. I didn't want to disturb George's sleep.
Well, and your husband usually slept during the morning hours, is that
Yes.
right?
He worked nights at the Belden Aircraft Company.
All right. Would you tell us what happened?
What is it to tell? He came from shopping and found him just like he is now.
Do you remember what time it was?
I don't know for sure. 10:30. Somewhere around there.
When did you leave the house?
About the same time I usually do. I couldn't do my housework in the morning. I didn't want to disturb George.
Mm-hmm. About when would that be?
About 9 o'clock.
Was your husband asleep when you left?
Yes. He never closed the door, and I looked in before I left.
When you left the house this morning, did you lock the house?
The back door was locked. Never lock the front when I'm just going to be gone for a short while.
I see.
It doesn't take me more than 2 hours to shop at the most.
Do you know if your husband had any enemies, Miss Pilson?
Well, not that I know of. He might have, but he never said anything to me about them.
Mm-hmm. Hope you won't take offense, but we have to ask this. How did you and your husband get along?
I guess I should have known that I'd be suspect, too.
Well, we have to ask it.
I know, Mr. Friday. You men are strangers. How could you know what our marriage was like? And how do you sum up 30 years in one or two sentences? Good, bad, happy, unhappy. It was all those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think our life is much different than most couples. maybe one exception. You see over there on the table?
Yes, ma'am.
My collection of elephants. I started collecting them as a little girl. I always thought that one day I'd have a little girl. I'd give them to her. We never had any children.
Mm-hmm.
So my children have been pretend. I've kept adding to the collection all these years. Each new elephant is one that my little girl or perhaps a little boy would have added.
I see, ma'am.
I was wrong before about something I said.
How's that?
I said you were strangers.
Yeah.
You're not, really. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you about the elephants.
Yes, ma'am. Then you and your husband haven't had any quarrels recently.
Usual words. Nothing serious, though.
Now, there's something else we'll have to know.
Yes.
Do you know if any personal property is missing?
Stolen, you mean?
That's right.
Well, I'd have to look first.
What if you do that for us?
Right now?
Yes, ma'am. If you feel up to it, we'd appreciate it if you could.
You want to know about the bedroom, too?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
One other thing, Miss Pilson.
Yes.
Was your husband in the habit of carrying large sums of money on his person, would you know?
Oh, no. Usually carried some cash, but never large amounts.
I see. All right. Would you like to start checking now, Miss Pilson?
Do you mind if we sit a moment longer?
No, it's all right. Take your time.
I was just remembering how like other days this is. I'd sit here reading and maybe just looking at my elephants and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It would be real quiet. Then the clock would strike 12. I'd go in with George.
Yes, ma'am.
So we go in.
Yes, if you're ready.
It's not quite time. That won't make any difference now.
Beg your pardon?
He won't hear us.
When we checked the bedroom, Miss Pilson told us her husband's watch and diamond ring were missing. She said as far as she could determine, nothing else had been taken from the house. In the meantime, crews from the crime lab and Leighton Prince arrived. Frank called the office, and they ran the names George and Marie Pilson through R&I. They called back later to say they could find no record on either one of them. Further questioning of the victim's wife failed to give us any definite lead as to who our suspect might be. We left the home and began to question some of the neighbors. 1:14 p.m., we rang the bell at the house directly across the street. We identified ourselves, and Sam Mordell, the occupant, admitted it. We went into the front room.
I was beginning to think I'd have to go look you fellas up.
How do you mean that, sir?
Well, I saw all the cars and activity over at the Pilsons. I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought it must be trouble of some kind. Well, curiosity just about got the best of me.
Uh-huh.
Grab a chair. Might as well be comfortable while you're here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Miss Mordell.
Don't mind all the wood shavings on the floor. You see, I'm a wood carver. It's not my job. It's just a hobby. I'm retired. I'm a railroad man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I had a rug in here, but I took it out. I always like those eating places with the sawdust on the floor. You know the kind. Of course, shavings aren't sawdust, but then it's easier to save them this way, too.
Yes, sir. I wonder if you'd answer a few questions for us.
Sure thing. Anyhow, if I keep on gabbing, I won't find out what this is all about. You go ahead and ask your questions.
Thank you. Do you usually sit in that chair when you work?
Sure do. Seldom miss a day. I call this my cab window.
What's that, sir?
Cab window. I used to be an engineer, sort of got used to looking out and enjoying the scenery as it went by.
Oh.
Of course, now the view doesn't change much, but I still like to see what's going on in the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
Were you sitting here this morning, sir?
Yeah. Don't miss many days. I haven't the time. Have to get this chain finished. A lot of work to carve at the wood chain.
Yes, sir. Did you remember seeing anybody around the Pilson residence this morning?
You mean besides Mrs. Pilson?
You saw her, did you?
Sure. She went shopping. She always goes Wednesday morning, of course, unless the weather is bad.
Yes, sir. Did you see anybody else?
Yes. Saw a fella come out of there while Mrs. Pilson was at the store.
Saw a man come out of the house?
Yeah.
Would you remember what time that was?
10 o'clock sharp.
You sure of that?
That's right. You see this watch?
Yes, sir.
They gave me this when I retired. You can see what it says on the back. See? Look.
It's real nice.
Railroad watch. Doesn't vary a bit. I don't get a newspaper, so I listen to the radio news when I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
Always check the time they come on. Because I know that my watch is right. Sometimes they're a couple of seconds late or early. Most of those pretty much on schedule. Make good railroad men.
Yes, sir.
It was 10 o'clock sharp by my watch. Program was 3 seconds late.
Yes, sir. Now, did you see that man go in?
No. I went out to make a pot of coffee.
How long were you out of the room?
20 minutes. Never take any more than 20 minutes. Do you mind if I carve while we talk? I got to get this chain finished. They're going to get a new record.
Yes, sir. All right. Could you describe this man for us?
Sure, but I can give you a better clue than that.
What's that, Mr. Medell?
He had a truck.
Go ahead, Mike.
Printing on the side.
Uh-huh.
Man's name. Said he sharpened lawnmowers.
Do you know the name?
Well, I'm not real sure. Either Ray or Gray.
Was there an address?
Yeah, but the letter too small. Anyhow, I wasn't too interested. I sharpened my own mower.
Uh-huh. Can you tell us what kind of a truck it was?
Not the make, but it was a closed-in kind. Green color. Didn't look too new.
Uh-huh. And you say the name on the side was either Ray or Gray. Is that it?
Yeah, my eyes are good yet, but only the Ray part was real clear. It looked like there could have been another letter in the front, though.
Uh-huh.
Just thought of something.
Yes, sir.
It didn't have to be Gray. It could have been Bray or Trey.
Yes, sir. We can check that out.
Now, can I ask you something?
What's that, sir?
What's the trouble?
Well, Mr. Pilson's dead.
Well, couldn't have been a natural death, or you fellas wouldn't be asking questions. That's too bad. George was a pretty good neighbor.
Is that right, sir?
He's tough on his wife, too, being married so long and all. I went to their 25th anniversary. Isn't easy to go on alone. I lost my wife 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you've been happy. It's not easy.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mordell, you said you could give us a description of the man you saw coming out of Pilsen.
Yeah, and if he had anything to do with George's death, he's going to get what I wanted for so long.
What's that, sir?
That's when you catch him, I mean.
Yeah.
He'll get his name in the paper.
How's that again, sir?
That's why I'm carving this chain. It's going to be the longest chain ever carved out of a single piece of wood.
Oh, I see.
Almost made it a couple other times. Then I got too anxious and botched the whole thing. See there? Shavings?
Yes, sir.
When I finish, I'm going to sweep them all up and weigh them. You know, give the reporters something to write about.
Well, sir, I hope this one turns out for you.
Thanks. I'll make it this time. Maybe it won't be on the front page, but my name will be in the paper, too.
We can be sure of one thing.
Yeah?
You picked a little better way to get there. Sam Wardell gave us a description of the man that he'd seen. We called the office and got out a local broadcast, and then we went back to the Pilsen house. We found a lawnmower in the backyard. Mrs. Pilsen said her husband had sent the lawnmower out to be sharpened, but she didn't know who the man was that did the work. We checked the classified directory, and we found the name Gray's Lawnmower Service. The listing had been underlined in pencil. Frank and I drove to the address, 2604 Royal Street. It was a small shop set well back from the street. The place was locked. A clock sign on the door read, "We'll be back at," and the hand pointed to 4:30. We parked across the street and we waited. At 4:43 p.m., a man answering the description we'd been given unlocked the door and entered the shop. 4:45 p.m.
Oh, hiya. Hey, this is perfect timing. You've been waiting for me.
We're police officers.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess that writes off the timing part.
Is your name Gray?
No, it's Para.
You work for a man named Gray?
It's my own business. I bought it from him.
I see.
He'd been here for some 20 years, so I just kept the name.
Do you pick up and deliver in your business?
Yeah?
Well, then you have a truck.
That's right.
What kind?
Panel job, Dodge.
What color?
Green. Look, I don't mind answering questions. I know you got a job to do, but the way I see it, this question and answer game plays better if we both know what counts and what doesn't. How about it?
Well, for the time being, let's just say you called it, huh?
Yeah?
We got a job to do.
That's it.
It'll have to be for now.
All right, I don't want to buck you guys. I got nothing to hide, but I get the same feeling when somebody won't cash a check for me.
Yeah.
And it galls me to think I'm lined up as a bad risk.
We're not accusing you of anything. Now, we'd appreciate your cooperation, but trying to keep this in mind. We'll still get what we came here for. Now, you make the choice how you want it.
Okay, what are you after? Hot lawnmowers?
You said you made deliveries, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you keep a record of the calls you make?
Sure.
Can we see the record?
Yeah, if you want, the book's over at the desk in the drawer. I'll get it.
I'll get it.
What'd you expect? I was going to pull a gun out of the drawer?
That's the one?
Yeah.
Here you are, Joe. Thanks. Are these all the calls for today?
That's right.
Austin, Kemper. When'd you make these calls?
What time?
That's right.
Oh, Kemper this morning, Austin this afternoon.
They're the only ones you made today, huh?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me see the book a second.
All right.
Isn't here. I guess I forgot to enter it.
What's that?
Another call I made.
What was that?
On Norwood Street, 906, I think it was.
Remember the name?
Pilson.
What time were you there?
I'm not sure. 9:30 or so, I guess.
Who'd you talk to?
Nobody. Didn't see anyone around.
Did you go in the house?
Why?
Did you?
Yeah, I rang the bell a couple of times, and I knocked.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were in the back of the house and couldn't hear me. The door was open a little, so I walked in.
Yeah.
Went in the front room, called out, didn't get any answer, so I left.
You didn't leave the front room.
That's right.
Did you see anybody?
I told you I didn't. What more do you want?
You said you called out.
Yeah?
How loud?
What do you mean?
Loud enough to wake a person sleeping in a back bedroom, maybe?
Well, I guess so. No one answered. It came out. I know that.
All right.
Well, was there someone there when I called?
That's right.
Well, ask them then. I don't know what you're getting at. I walked into a house. I didn't do anything wrong there. If there was someone there, ask them.
Be a little hard to do.
Huh?
He's dead. We took Para back to the office and questioned him further. He continued to maintain his innocence. We ran his name through R&I and found a package for him showing one arrest for suspicion of ADW as a juvenile. We booked him on suspicion of 187 PC, murder, and Frank and I went back to his shop. We thoroughly searched both the building and his truck, but we failed to turn up either the ring or the watch. Thursday morning, Leighton Prince reported that they'd found no fingerprints in the house other than those of the victim and his wife. We got a call from Ray Pinker in the crime lab. He said that George Pilson had been beaten about the head with some type of round instrument. He also substantiated our theory that there had been a little struggle on the part of the victim. We called the county morgue, and Dr. Cephalou said he'd notify us as soon as he posted the body. 11:26 a.m.
Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Just checking over these time elements.
Yeah.
Mrs. Pilson left at 9. It's gone about an hour and a half. The neighbors saw Para leave the house at 10, right?
Yep.
And if Mordell is right about how long he was gone from his front window, Para could have been there about 20 minutes.
That's the way it checks out.
Well, give him enough time, don't you think?
Well, we still got to figure maybe he's telling us the truth.
Yeah.
And if he is, that gives us several possibilities. When Pilson didn't answer, maybe it's because he couldn't.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I got it. Homicide Friday. Yeah. It was, didn't it? Yeah. I see. Right. You're right over. It's Doc Cephalou who just finished posting the body.
Yeah.
It's possible that Pilson wasn't killed by the head blows.
What do you mean?
Might have been dead before he was hit. We went over to the morgue. Dr. Cephalou said he'd found evidence of a barbiturate in the victim's body in a quantity large enough to kill him. He also pointed out that the lack of profuse bleeding from the head wounds led him to believe that the victim was dead before the beating occurred. Frank and I drove out to the Pilson residence. We talked to the victim's wife. We explained to her that it was necessary that we know more about her husband's physical condition prior to his death. We went into the front room and sat down.
Try to answer your questions, but today I'm just beginning to realize what it's going to be like being alone.
Yes, ma'am, we can understand that. We'll try to be as brief as possible.
Thank you.
Now, had your husband been under a doctor's care recently?
No.
Had he been in good mental spirits?
Yes?
He didn't seem unusually worried about anything.
Not that I know of.
Well, now, would you tell us about yourself, Miss Pilson?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, have you been under a doctor's care recently?
No. What has all this to do with my husband's death?
Well, we'd like to know if there would be any reason for you or your husband to have a prescription for a strong barbiturate in the house.
A what?
A sedative, ma'am.
You mean to make you sleep?
That's right.
No. We did never use them.
Then you haven't had any in the house recently?
Well, I haven't. I don't think George did.
Would it be possible that your husband could have used a barbiturate and you didn't know about it?
Yes. But if he did, I'm sure he'd have told me. We didn't have secrets from each other.
I see.
I'll get it.
All right.
Oh, Marie, you poor thing. I just got back and heard the terrible news and came right over.
Thank you, Lydia. But you come back later.
Well, sure, dear. Is there anything I can do for you?
Maybe, but I can't talk now.
All right, Marie.
Are the police here? Yes. So won't you come back later?
Have you told them?
Yes.
You told them what George tried to do?
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Couldn't help overhearing your conversation.
Oh, you're the policeman?
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Marie's neighbor.
Yes, we understand. What did you mean about Mr. Pilson trying to do something?
Well, she didn't mean anything. She was just talking.
Now, let's let her tell us, shall we?
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
What did you mean, ma'am?
Maybe it's not important.
Why don't you tell us anyway?
George tried to kill Marie.
We brought the neighbor, Lydia Shires, into the house for further questioning. She explained that she was a close friend of Marie Pilson's. It was quite evident that Mrs. Pilson didn't want her friend to talk to us.
If I had any idea I was going to cause all this trouble, I'd never come over. I only meant to help Marie.
Would you tell us why you said that Mr. Pilson was trying to kill his wife?
Sure, but Marie can tell you better than I can. Oh, now, honey, don't get upset. It's going to work out all right. Well, I'll tell you what I know, but Marie will have to fill in the details.
All right, go ahead, please.
Last week it was, she came over to my house, terribly worried. She was afraid she was going to have another nervous breakdown.
Oh, please don't, Lydia, please don't.
Now, don't fret, dear. We all want to help you.
Miss Pilson, once more, had you been under a doctor's care recently?
It was George, her husband, that made her sick. She kept telling her she was going crazy, said she was going to die. Finally, she got to believe in the things he was saying.
Yeah.
That's when she had the breakdown.
How long ago was this?
About 3 weeks ago.
All right, go ahead, will you?
Well, George got these pills for her, something for her nerves to make her rest.
Yeah.
That may be our office. I'll get it.
All right.
Hello? That's right. No, he isn't. You want to tell me who's calling? Would you like to leave a message? Right. No, my name's Smith. She hung up. Woman asking for Mr. Pilson.
Did she give her name?
No, said she was a friend of the family.
It was her. I know it. I wish I'd talked to her.
Who was it, Miss Pilson?
I don't know her name, but she lied. She's no friend of mine. She caused all this.
How do you mean?
That's why George was trying to kill me. With me out of the way, he could have her. She'd come and live in my home.
You never told me about her.
I still had some pride.
All right, now this medicine your husband got, was it a barbiturate?
Yes. That's how he was going to kill me.
Where did he get the pills?
I don't know. George would come in and sit on my bed in the early morning. When he'd come in from work, he'd wake me up, tell me I was going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
Time after time he did it. I began to think he was right. I couldn't remember doing things.
That's when you started taking these pills, huh?
Yes, that's right.
I see.
He'd put them in my food or in my drink.
You sure he did that?
Yes. I counted the capsules in the bottle every time I took one. Got so I couldn't remember if I'd taken them or not, so I counted them.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the number down on paper so I'd be sure. Some were always missing. I knew he'd been giving them to me.
All right, go ahead.
That's when I told Lydia about it. She said to stop.
Is that right, Miss Shires?
Yeah, I told her not to take any more.
Did you stop taking the sedative?
Yes. I told George about what Lydia said. He got mad and said I shouldn't have gone to her. Then he started telling me I'd go crazy if I didn't take them. He kept after me.
Is that why you killed him, Miss Pilson?
Can't mean Marie did it.
He kept after me. I knew he was trying to get rid of me. He'd stay out all night when he wasn't working.
Did he tell you about the other woman?
No, he didn't have to. I knew. A couple of times she called here. I answered the phone. When she heard my voice, she hung up.
So you gave him the pills you'd been taking, is that it?
To make him sleep. I always had a sandwich when he came home from work. I fixed it before I went to bed.
When'd you strike him?
When I came home from the market, I suppose. You'll want the weapon, won't you?
Yeah, on the watch and the ring, see.
All right.
Marie, how could you do it?
Had to be. He was going to kill me. She was going to live at my home with my children. Lydia.
Yeah.
I want you to take my family.
What?
My elephants. I want you to have them.
All right, Marie.
You want to tell us where the weapon is, Miss Pilson?
All right. I didn't believe George that he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
He told me this would happen.
What's that?
He said I was crazy.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 3rd, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Marie Ellen Pilson was examined by 3 psychiatrists appointed by the state and found to be insane. She was confined to Mendocino State Hospital for the criminally insane for treatment.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story, your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. You get a call that a flower shop has been held up. 2 men have been shot. One of them killed. Your job? Check it out.
It was Tuesday, June 8th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office, and it was 10:15 a.m. when we got to the corner of 7th Street and Bunker Hill Avenue. The Stone and Flower Shop. Back there, Phil.
Wasn't any way for me to know what it was all about till it was too late. Yes, sir. Just stood there, didn't move around, just stood. Oh, you fellas want to see me?
Police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Central?
That's right.
Roberts, 1 of 16.
You answer the call?
Yeah.
I'm the fellow that shot the crook, you know.
Yes, sir. Did you get a description?
Yeah, it's out. Metro's sending a couple of cars to help us look for the suspect.
Very good.
Anything else I can do for you?
No, not right now.
Okay, I'll get on outside then.
Right, thank you. You'll take care of the report then, won't you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check with you.
Sure.
Nice fella.
Yes, sir.
Could have used him back to home.
Sir?
Good man like that. Could have used him.
What do you mean?
Ran a detective agency back home. Had a couple of men sleuthing around. He made a good one.
Mm-hmm. Would you tell us what happened here?
Ain't nobody done that yet?
No, sir. We just got a hotshot call. There'd been a robbery and shooting. We came right out from the office.
You heard about it?
No, sir.
Well, don't you worry. I'll fill you both in and give you the whole story.
All right, sir, if you would.
Abner Stossett.
What's that, sir?
Full name's Abner Davis Stossett. After Jeff.
Who?
Jefferson Davis, the president.
Oh.
Don't usually use the middle name. People out here don't seem to understand 3, just the front and back. Abner Stossett.
Yes, sir. All right. Now, if you tell us what happened.
They shot Danville.
That's the victim.
Yep, shot him right here, just above spleen. Here.
Mm-hmm. How'd it happen?
It looked like 38 automatic.
Well, yes, sir, but what led up to the shooting?
2 fellas, they tried to rob him.
Mm-hmm.
Tried it with the wrong 2 men, tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Out loud.
Sir?
Tell you that out loud.
Oh, I see. Do you want to go on?
Well, same thing every morning.
Yes, sir.
We make up the deposit slip, take the money to the bank. You're the one who does the writing, don't have to do the walking. This time, Danville Road, I was going to make a trip.
Yes, sir.
I was about to leave. These 2 young guys come in the place. First off, I figured they want to buy some flowers, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Danville was going to take care of them. Excuse me a minute, will you?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Stone and Florist? Yes, sir. Oh, no, we can take care of it for you. That's right. Where do you want them sent? Now, just let me check the book here a minute. Walnut Creek. Yep, we can do it for you. No, sir, we'll send them by wire. Well, they'll be delivered in about an hour. Mm-hmm. That's right. You want the long stems? Yeah, well, they're $7.50 a dozen. That's right. Yes, you want to give me the charge information on that card? Yes, sir. And how do you spell that? Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, the number? No, sir, the one on the lower right. Yeah, it's 726. All right, is there a message? Mm-hmm. No, not at all, sir. I think it's real pretty. Yeah. No, they'll put the card in. We just wire the order. They'll be very nice. Yes, sir. Thank you. Call us again. That's right. Bye. Got to send some roses up to Walnut Creek. Birthday for a girl named Irma.
Mm-hmm. Wonder if we can get back to what happened here.
Oh, yeah. Well, these 2 fellas came in. They just stood there with their feet kind of spread out like they just got off a boat, Stood there, just looked around.
Was there anybody else in the store?
Just Danville and me.
I see. What did the men say to you?
Only one of them talked, the dark one. He asked me if there's anybody in the back at work with me back there. I told him there wasn't, and that's when he showed me the pistol. Stood there in high cotton, waving it around. Told me to hand over the bag of money.
Were you carrying it at the time?
I told you that before. I was on my way to the bank.
Sir.
Danville wrote the slip I was going to the bank.
I understand. Now, what did he say when he showed you the gun?
Said it was a stick-up.
Do you remember his exact words?
Well, I'm kind of fast for me. Let me see. I think it was, don't try anything. It's a stick-up, like that he said it.
I see. Now, how'd the shooting start?
Well, Danville said he wasn't going to have no kid talk to him like that. He reached out, took a swing at the kid, a real roundhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Dark kid dug back, pulled the trigger, shot Danville right here. Spleen. Dropped like a rock.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled out my gun, started shooting.
You always carry a gun?
When I'm going to the bank, you never know what's going to happen.
You have a permit?
It's against the law to carry a gun without permission, ain't it?
Yes.
Well, then I got it.
After you pulled your gun, what happened?
I shot.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Shot right at the dark fellow.
Mm-hmm.
You hit him, huh?
I don't often miss.
I see.
Hit him 3 times. Here in the chest.
Mm-hmm. What was the other man doing while this was happening?
He pulled out a gun, too, and the balloon went up. Bullets flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Then both of them took off, run out of the place. I followed them.
Mm-hmm.
Got to the door. The dark one turned around. Going to shoot at me again.
Uh-huh.
Didn't move fast enough. I pulled the trigger, hit him right in the middle of the chest, went down like a dropped duck egg.
What about the other one?
He started running down the street. I guess about the only thing he was wanting was to get away.
Yeah.
Took 2 shots at him while he was running. I blazed away. Only had 2 more bullets in the gun. I gave them both to him.
You hit him?
Yeah, at least once, because I saw him jerk. It might have been both times. He kept running, though.
What'd you do then?
I come back in here, see what I could do for Danville, made him as comfortable as I could, and then I called the police.
All right.
He came sliding up and took out after the fellow that got away. The ambulance came and picked up Danville and the other guy.
Yes, sir. Now, what if you could give us the description of the man who got away?
Yeah, guess.
I'll call Georgia Street and check on the other suspect.
That ain't going to do no good.
What?
You don't have to inquire about him. He's dead.
You're sure about that?
Son, I know when somebody's dead.
Yes, sir.
I hit that fella 4 times in the chest with a .44. I saw him drop. About as much life as a sack of cornmeal. He was dead.
I'll check anyway.
All right.
Yeah, sure sorry.
What are you sorry about?
I say it's a real sorry that you can't work with that other young fellow that was in here. You know, the one in uniform. He was a bright boy.
Mm-hmm.
This fella here, he couldn't even fill out an application for our agency.
Would you give us the description?
First line.
I beg your pardon?
I say he wouldn't even be able to fill out the first line. Didn't know who Jeff Davis was. Hard to believe.
Yeah, now about that description.
Well, fellow was about your height, weighed in maybe 150, around there.
Mm-hmm.
He had light hair, lighter at the top and down by his head like he was bleached in the sun.
Any marks or scars?
No, nothing that stand out. He had a kind of a flat face.
What about his clothes?
White shirt, kind of tan pants, carrying a leather jacket with a fur around the collar.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Both of them had those.
Was there anything in the way they talked? An accent, maybe?
No, just North talk. I can't tell the difference much of the time.
Mm-hmm. Would you know the man if you saw him again?
You bet I would. Just stand him up in front of me, and I'll lay it on, point him right out.
Mm-hmm. What'd you find out?
I talked to the hospital, Joe.
Yeah?
Are you sure you hit one of the suspects, mister?
Positive.
And he was on the sidewalk.
Saw him hit and die.
What's the matter?
Well, the ambulance only brought in 1 person.
Yeah.
The dead man's gone.
They put in a call to the hospital and made arrangements to talk to the ambulance crew. They told us that they'd only picked up 1 person at the scene. They went on to say that there wasn't another injured party on the premises anywhere. A check with the officer who answered the original call brought out the information that there hadn't been anybody on the sidewalk when the radio car had gotten there. Frank put out a local broadcast to all cars in the area, and I went back to talk to Abner Stossett.
I told you before, that boy ain't too bright.
Now, you're sure you shot that man?
Look, I'll go along with you and say maybe I did miss the first 3 times. That ain't likely, but just for the sake, I'll admit it.
All right, sir.
But I know I hit him outside. I was closer to him than I am to you. Ain't nobody could miss that close.
All right.
Come on outside. Take a look at the sidewalk. You tell me if it's my imagination.
All right, fine.
They got it out, Joe. All the cars in the area are looking for
All
it.
right, fine.
One thing I'm always proud of is the way I can shoot. I don't hardly ever miss. I know I didn't this time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just look at that. Take a look. You tell me that's blood, ain't it?
Yes, sir, it looks like it.
It is. I was standing right here. Right here. He was there. He turned around, tried to shoot me. I fired at him. He went down right there. You can see where the big stain is. Right there.
Uh-huh. Well, how'd they get there?
What do you mean?
Well, did you see a car?
Yeah, I told the other cops about it. That's it right there. Drove up in it and got out.
Did you see him get out of the car?
Yeah, I was just leaving the store, and I saw him right after they come in the store.
All right, you want to check the car?
Yeah.
Now, don't go touching it. The cop said not to.
Mm-hmm. Was there anybody else who saw the man on the sidewalk?
You mean besides me?
That's right.
Not that I know of. As soon as I emptied my gun at the blonde fella, I went back in the store. I stayed there till the police car pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
Not more than 3, maybe 4 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Not more. But I'm telling you, he was right here. Lying there, and he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Crime lab's on the way out to check the car.
Mm-hmm. Well, looks like the suspect might have gotten up and walked away, doesn't it?
If he did, then it's really one for the books.
Trail of bloodstains here.
Yeah.
Never nothing like this happened back home. Back there, when you shoot somebody, he's got the courtesy to stay shot.
trail stops.
Let's check over there and see if we can pick it up.
Yeah. How about it?
Nothing. It just stops, that's all.
Maybe somebody picked him up in the car.
Yeah, must be. Was there anybody else parked in front of the store at the time?
Not that I remember. You can see yourself. We got the sign where it says just for the customers.
You're absolutely sure there was nobody else?
If I wasn't, I'd have told this fella.
Yes.
You didn't see the man get up off the sidewalk?
No, there wasn't no reason for me to look at him. As far as I was concerned, he was dead. Still ain't sure he wasn't.
Well, the trail of bloodstains showed that he did leave here.
It still don't sell me.
I better start a check of the neighborhood.
Right.
You want me to help you?
No, sir, that won't be necessary.
Mr. Friday.
Yes, sir.
Could I talk to you for a minute?
All right.
Alone?
Excuse me, Frank.
Yeah.
Mr. Friday, I saw that man fall. I saw him hit the sidewalk. I know he was hurt bad. He wasn't going to get up. I'm sure of it.
Yes, sir, we understand.
I told him all that. I just don't see how I could have made a mistake like that. That fella couldn't have gotten up. He's dead.
Yes, sir, we believe you, but he's not here.
That don't change a thing, my boy.
How's that?
He's dead someplace else, that's all.
An immediate search was started of all buildings in the area. If the suspect had walked away from the scene, the amount of blood on the sidewalk indicated he couldn't have gotten far without help. While Frank and I talked to the shopkeepers in the vicinity, a check was made of the car that the thieves had used. It was found to be stolen, and arrangements were made to talk to the owner. Members of the crime lab crew came out and checked the vehicle. They were unable to turn up anything we could use in identifying the holdup men. 11:28 a.m. Frank and I talked to the owner of a small tobacco shop.
Saw the whole thing.
Well, where were you during the shooting, Mr. Collard?
Right out in front. I looked down the street, and there it was, just like it was a cinemascope.
Now, sir, did you see the actual shooting?
Well, not the first. No, I was in here, behind the counter, fixing up a new bunch of pipes we just got in, putting them up on the board. All of a sudden, I heard this noise. First up, I thought it might be a backfire. Then I knew.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't. It was shots. So I went outside to see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I see, these three guys come out on the sidewalk, right in front of the flower shop, three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Abner and a couple more. One of them black-haired, the other was kind of blonde.
Yeah.
One of them tried to get Abner. Other one took off in this direction. I see Abner raise that gun of his and pointed at me, and I ducked inside.
Did one of the men go by here?
Yes, Abner shot at him a couple of times. Must have hit him, because I could see he was hurt when he run past.
Did you see where he went?
No, I told you, when those shots started to go by, I didn't want to wait around and see if one of them was monogrammed for me. I left.
All right. Can you tell us what direction the man took?
Not after he went for the door. Must have gone around the corner.
Well, why did you say that?
Oh, because when I went back out, I couldn't see him. If he'd gone up the street, I'd have been able to.
Now, did you see the man out in front of the store?
You mean Abner?
No, sir, the one he was shooting at. The suspect.
Yeah, I got a pretty good look at him.
Where was he?
He was just lying there. He wasn't moving around much.
Did you see him get up?
No. What's all this about the other guy for?
Well, what do you mean?
The one Abner killed. Why all the questions about him?
Well, sir, he's gone.
You mean he got away?
Yes, sir, it looks that way.
Well, I don't see how that could be. I went right by him, a couple of feet away. There wasn't no life in him then. Nothing. He left there, and somebody had to carry him.
Yes, sir, that's the way it looks.
No reason for anybody to do it. The man was dead. There's no reason at all.
Well, there must have been one.
Why?
He's not there. Frank and I checked out the rest of the neighborhood, but we failed to turn up any information. None of the shopkeepers in the vicinity had seen where the blonde hold-up man had gone. All of them who had seen the man on the sidewalk were willing to testify that he was dead. Yet the physical evidence at the scene indicated that he'd gotten up under his own power and walked away carrying 4 bullets in his chest. 2:40 p.m. Frank and I returned to our car and began to cruise the streets in the area. 3:15 p.m.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to find him.
Well, Frank, he's got to be here someplace.
Unless somebody picked him up.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Fellow on the bench over there, you see him?
Oh, yeah. Waiting for the bus.
He was there when we went by before. Take it easy when you pass him this time.
All right.
Better pull over.
Yeah.
Matches the description.
Uh-huh.
Looks like bloodstains on his shirt from here.
It sure does. Fits in good.
All right. You cover him from that side. I'll go this way.
Right.
Joe, he's got a gun.
Joe, you all right?
Yeah, thanks to this mailbox.
I saw him pull a gun. Thought sure he got you.
Well, he didn't miss by much. Come on, we better check him.
Yeah. I hit him twice, Joe.
Take it easy. He's dead.
There wasn't anything I could do. It was you or him.
Puts us in a corner.
Yeah.
He was our lead to the other suspect.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
The coroner came out and removed the body. The victim was identified as Jeffrey Burnham, age 27. From his package, we found that he'd been arrested several times on charges of armed robbery and that he'd served one term in San Quentin. Abner Stossett identified him positively as one of the holdup men. Frank and I went back to the office to do a complete check on his friends and known acquaintances in the hope that we could turn up something to lead us to the other man. The search for the dark suspect was continued during the night without result. The next morning, we met with Lieutenant Stoner, and we made arrangements for additional men to aid us in checking out the list that we'd made on Burnham's friends. 8:47 a.m.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go. I get it. Robbery Friday. Yes, sir. Runaway. Yes, sir. Bye. The victim, Abner Stossett.
Yeah?
Says he came across something this morning.
What was it?
Should tell us who the missing man is. We left the office and drove out to the florist shop. Abner Stossett met us at the door.
I don't know why I didn't think of it yesterday.
What's that, sir?
You remember how I told you they was both carrying leather jackets?
Yeah.
After I shot the one fellow on the sidewalk, I came back in here to take care of Danville.
Yes, sir.
I looked around to find something to put under his head. Yeah, wait, here, man, I'll get it.
All right.
I guess I didn't think much about it, kind of all upset.
Uh-huh.
But cleaning up this morning, I found it. It should give you something to work on.
Well?
There it is. You can still see the stains on where the fella dropped it.
Yeah.
Are you sure that jacket belonged to the missing suspect?
Yeah, you remember how I saw him drop it when he got shot? I remember it good.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We'll check it out.
It shouldn't be too much trouble.
Okay.
Here, take a look. I found this myself. Here. Laundry tag.
We took the jacket over to the crime lab. Lieutenant Lee Jones started to check through his records for the name of the cleaner that had serviced the garment. Frank and I went back to the office and talked with officers O'Donnell and Gerber. They told us that the list of the suspect's friends had been checked without result. The search for the missing man had been called off, and the additional units had returned to Metro Division. At 4:30 p.m., we got the call from Lee Jones. He gave us the name and address of the cleaner. Frank and I left the office and drove over to his shop.
Yes, sir. Something I can do for you?
Police officers. Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Oh, how you doing? Hope there's anything wrong.
No, sir. We just like some information.
I got it. It's yours.
All right, sir. Ever see this before?
Leather jacket. A lot of them around.
How about this tag here? It's one of yours, isn't it?
Let's see. Yeah, that's our mark.
Can you tell us who brought this jacket in to be cleaned?
It'd be hard to say.
Well, the way we got it belongs to a fellow about 25, dark hair, about 150 pounds.
We do a good-sized business. Hard to remember all the people who come in. That's right, sir, but do you have that many leather jackets? No. Wait a minute. Let me think a minute. Might be outside, but it could be.
What's that?
Halleck. Norman Halleck. He looks like how you said. I've done some work for him and his family. It might be him.
Can you tell us where we can find him?
I got his address in the book. I can look it up for him.
If you would, please.
Might be. He's been in trouble with the cops before.
Did you know what for?
No, it's just neighborhood gossip. The only thing I'd want to put my name on.
Uh-huh.
Here it is. Norman Halleck. H-A-L-I-K. 10267 Sacramento Street.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Why don't you tell me what he's done?
I think it'd be better if we talk to him about that.
Sure, it's his business anyway.
Yeah.
That's the trouble with people nowadays. They're all the time pushing in on somebody else.
Uh-huh.
Telling things they aren't sure about. Giving people bad names for nothing.
Oh, there's one small difference here.
Huh?
This fellow made his own name. We got Halleck's address, and we drove back to the office. We checked the name through R&I and found that he had several arrests for robbery and one for assault with a deadly weapon. We pulled his mugshot and drove out to see the victim, Abner Stossett.
No, that ain't him. No. No. Wait a minute. Here he is.
You sure, are you?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see that again.
Go ahead.
Eyes are the same. Hair's a little shorter. No, it doesn't make any difference.
Sir?
That's the man.
Frank and I drove over to the address on Sacramento Street. We checked with the landlady, and she told us that Norman Halleck was in his room. We went upstairs.
This should be it.
All set?
Yeah.
Freeze, Halleck, right there.
What do you want?
Turn around.
What?
Turn around. Put your hands up on that wall.
Come on, move.
Stand still.
All right, he's clean, Joe.
All right, let's go.
Well, what's this all about?
Come on, let's go.
Well, you got to make a charge.
All right, suspicion of robbery.
You're out of your head.
You tell us about it, will you?
Sure, it's a bad beat.
It always is, isn't it?
It doesn't make any difference. You take me down, book me. I'll be out right away. All I need is a little time.
Yeah, well, then you're in real trouble.
Huh?
You just ran out of it. We searched the suspect's room, but we failed to find anything to further tie him in with the robbery shooting. He was taken to the city hall where Frank and I talked to him in the interrogation room.
How about it? Does that jacket belong to you? I don't know. The cleaner says it does. Well, a lot of leather jackets. How's he know this one's mine?
All right, Halleck. Now, come on. We got you made, and you know it.
I told you before, this is a bad beat.
You're going to save yourself a lot of time if you cop out.
I'm glad to help, but I can't give you anything.
Where were you yesterday?
Home.
Anybody to back that up?
Yeah.
Well, then you can come up with a name.
Sure, all you need.
You know a Jeffrey Burnham?
Burnham?
Burnham.
I know a lot of people. I might know.
All right, now, this is a simple question. Just give us an answer, will you?
You put it like that, I got to say no.
Stand up.
Hmm?
Nothing wrong with your ears. Stand up.
All right, now what?
Take off your coat.
What?
Your coat, take it off.
Guys are going straight up. All right, now what?
Take your shirt off.
Huh?
Come on. It's simple. Take the shirt off, will you, fella?
I put the 3rd degree out. You going to freeze me to death?
Come on, move.
All right, now what?
Turn around.
When do you turn on the blue light?
Frank.
Yeah.
All right, you can put your clothes on and sit down, Halleck. Come on.
Yeah.
You stay there, Halleck.
Well, what do you think?
He looked awful good for a while, didn't he? Sure blows it up.
Yeah. Supposed to be shot 4 times in the chest.
Not a bullet wound on him anywhere. A special show-up was arranged, and the suspect was shown to the victim. On seeing Halleck in person, he was unable to give us a positive identification. The suspect was detained at the main jail while we checked out his alibi for the day of the robbery. It held. Several people swore that he was 2 miles from the scene when the shooting took place. We questioned him about the leather jacket. He was unable to come up with an explanation as to how it could have gotten to the scene. We checked out all of the people in the building where he lived, all of his friends and associates, and on June 11th, he was released from custody. 10:16 a.m., Frank and I got back to the office from the main jail.
Well, I guess better check with the skipper, huh?
Yeah.
You got a good excuse?
Yeah, we'll just tell him the way it happened. He has to go along with it, the truth.
Well, Joe, it isn't logical that a man could walk around with 4 bullets in his chest and we can't find him.
Well, then you tell me what we're looking for.
Well, do you think Halleck gave us all he had?
I don't know. At least we know he's clean.
Yeah. Well, where do we go from here?
We'll go tell the skipper.
All right.
Just put it in the books and keep working on it. We got one thing with it.
Huh?
Had guys around someplace. Sooner or later, somebody's going to have too much to drink, maybe get in a fight with their girlfriend, trust somebody too much, but they're going to say something. When they do, we'll hear about it. And we'll get to them.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, we got more than he has.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 11th, a meeting was held in the captain's office, Robbery Division, Los Angeles Police Department. The case was completely reviewed and a report written on the results of the investigation. As of this date, that investigation is continuing.
Dragnet. The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. A woman reports her sister is missing. The story she gives you indicates foul play. Your job, investigate.
It was Tuesday, April 8th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Homicide Division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from the business office, and it was 11:46 a.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
You know, it's just too bad you can't move a little faster on things like this. It's just too bad.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Mrs. Moffat, this is my partner, Sergeant Friday. Joe, this is Mrs. Moffat.
How are you, ma'am?
How do you do?
You want to tell him the story?
Think it'll do any good?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then, my sister's gone.
Yes.
Disappeared, and I want you to find her.
When'd you see her last?
A couple of weeks ago.
Could you give us a date?
You have a calendar?
Yes, ma'am. Right on the wall there behind you.
Oh. Well, this is the 8th. Maggie's birthday was in March, and that'd make it 14th of March.
I see.
She come by to thank me for the party. Had a few of the girls in for her.
That's your sister?
Yes, Margaret Shane.
Have you heard anything from her since then?
Not a peep.
What about her home? Have you checked there?
Tried to call her on the phone a couple of times. Didn't talk to her, though.
Who'd you speak with?
Her husband.
Did you ask him where your sister was?
Yes, I come right out with it. Didn't mince anything up.
What'd he have to say?
Well, then, just beat around. Didn't come out with a yay or no. Just beat around.
Mm-hmm. How about the rest of her family?
Isn't any. I'm the only living relative she has.
Possible she's ill?
If that's so, I'd know about it. We were pretty close. Hardly no secrets from each other.
I see.
Now, if you're all done asking me the same questions this fella has, I want to know. I know there's something wrong. I want you to find out.
All right, we'll check on it.
I want you to do more than that, a lot more.
Beg your pardon?
I want you to arrest Maggie's husband.
Well, why?
Because he killed her.
We checked the name and description of the woman through missing persons files, but we failed to find anything on her. While I talked to Karen Moffat, Frank went down the hall and ran the names Margaret Shane and her husband Gordon through R&I. There was nothing on either one of them. 1:06 p.m. We left the office and drove out to check the missing woman's house.
Doesn't seem like anybody's home.
Well, let's check the bank.
Right. You think there's anything to it?
You know as much as I do. We both started from the same place.
Yeah. I'll get it.
All right. Well, there's somebody home.
Yeah. Wonder why he didn't bark when we knocked on the door.
I don't know. There's nothing here. Let's check the garage there. Locked?
Nope. Oh, it's quite a shop, huh?
Mm-hmm. A lot of tools.
Well, doesn't look like anything.
Nope. Frank?
Yeah.
Come here. Right here, under the sawdust.
Where? Oh, yeah. Looks like somebody tried to hide it.
Bloodstains. We put in the call to the crime lab requesting that a crew be sent out to check the stains that we'd found on the floor. We talked to the neighbors about the couple, and we got the address of the place where Mr. Shane was employed. It was a large wholesale carpet company. We found Shane in one of the offices.
That's right. No, ma'am, if it's put in, it should make the room a lot warmer. No, the carpet you've chosen shouldn't show any wear for years. Mm-hmm. Well, we found that color doesn't show the dirt. No, ma'am. Well, it'll increase the value of your home. Oh, that's right. Oh, we can have it in for you day after tomorrow. That's right. I'll give you a call. All right, bye. Yes, sir. Can I do something for you?
Mr. Shane?
That's right. You want to come in? What can I do for you?
Police officers. Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How do you do, sir? Something wrong?
No, sir. Just a couple of questions we'd like to ask.
Oh, sure. You want to sit down?
Thank you.
Cigarette?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. How about you, Mr. Smith?
Yes, thanks, sir.
One like?
I've got it. Are you in?
Thanks.
Thanks.
Now then, what's this all about?
You know where your wife is, Mr. Shane?
Oh, there's something about Maggie?
Well, do you know where she is?
Look, Mr. Friday, if there's something wrong with Maggie, I got the right to know about it.
Yes, sir, that's true. We're not sure there's anything wrong. We'd like to talk to Mrs. Shane.
We hope you'd tell us where we might reach her.
Was she in trouble?
No, sir.
Well, then I don't understand all the questions.
We've got a report that she's missing.
Who filed it?
Her sister.
That figures.
How's that?
She isn't ever going to stop.
I don't believe I follow you.
Karen's been hacked at me ever since I married Maggie. Not a day goes by she doesn't plant some kind of a dig.
Does she have a reason?
Yeah. She had it all fixed for Maggie to marry someone else. I came along and upset her plans. Been trying to break us up ever since.
That's so.
Yeah. This fellow she was trying to palm off on my wife. Karen's husband worked for him. She figured it'd be real soft having the boss as a brother-in-law. Well, the way it worked out, the slob had to work for a living. Almost kills Karen every time she thinks of it.
Where is your wife?
I wish I could tell you.
What?
I wish I knew where she was.
Haven't you got any idea?
No. A couple of weeks ago, I came home from work. Maggie was gone. I haven't seen her since.
Can you pin it down?
Thursday, week. She called during the day to tell me she wanted me to go out to dinner. Said she wanted me to be home on time. I told her I wouldn't be able to make it. We had words. She hung up. When I got to the house, she was gone.
She leave any kind of a note?
Yeah.
Have you got it?
I don't think so. I was pretty upset. Guess I must have thrown it away. Haven't seen her around since.
You know, you've got quite a woodworking shop in your garage.
Yeah. Stuff's getting a little rusty now. I haven't felt like doing anything.
Now, this trouble with your wife, was there another man involved?
It'd be hard to say.
What do you mean?
Well, Maggie's an attractive girl. Everywhere she went, there was some guy trying to make time. Might have been someone special. I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm. Wonder if we could use one of the phones outside.
Use this if you like.
Well, one of the others will do.
Well, sure. Go ahead.
I'll call over to Joe. See what they've come up with.
Okay. This note your wife left, what did it say?
You mean the exact words?
If you remember them.
It was pretty simple. Just that she was leaving me. Said she didn't have to tell me why, that I knew.
Did she say where she was going?
No. Figured maybe she went back east. She's got some friends there.
Where?
Nebraska, I think. I've never met them.
How about clothes?
What?
Did she take any clothes with her?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. She had quite a few. I looked at her closet. I couldn't tell what was gone. She took her fur coat, though.
Mm-hmm. Did you try to contact any of her friends?
I called around. I didn't find out anything.
Mm-hmm.
Whole thing's a farce, Sergeant. Isn't anything new about a wife leaving her husband. Read about it all the time in the papers. Karen's just stirring up trouble. She's sore at me. Always has been. Always will be.
Joe.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
You talked to the lab?
Yeah. We just finished the test on the blood stains.
Mm-hmm.
We're not too far off.
Huh?
Human blood.
Frank and I took Gordon Shane back to his house. During the ride, he was quiet, and he refused to be led into a conversation about his wife. When we arrived at the house, we took him back to the garage. The crew from the crime lab had gone back to the office to make the grouping tests on the blood stains.
Wish you'd tell me what this is all about.
We figure you might have the answer to that.
When are you going to stop talking in riddles?
Now, Shane, you know what we're after. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble if you go along with us.
Well, I don't know. What are you after? You dragged me away from my job, caused me a lot of embarrassment. Now, how about calling the game so we both know what we're playing?
All right, fine, sure. You got an explanation for this?
What?
The blood stains here on the floor.
Yeah, sure. I killed a couple of people. This is where I did it.
We don't need any jokes, Shane. Just figure it out.
Well, you better turn in your deerstalker cap. I made those stains myself.
Yeah?
I was working on the lathe. Chisel slipped out of my hand, cut my foot.
When did this happen?
A couple of weeks ago.
Before or after your wife left?
Now you're ready to stop the game.
It's a real easy question, Shane. Give us the answer the same way, will you?
Before.
How much?
A couple of days.
You told us your wife left on the 27th of March. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is it right or isn't it?
It's right. It's right.
Then when'd you cut your foot?
The Sunday before.
How'd you pull that date up?
Well, no trouble. It's the last time I worked out here.
Oh, well, to cut that bad, still be a mark, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You mind showing us?
Not at all.
You know your blood type?
Hmm?
What's your blood type?
Oh.
How about your wife's?
I don't know. Somehow we never quite got around to talking about it.
All right. Let's go in the house. You can show us your foot there.
Yeah, sure.
You think you might be able to come up with a note your wife left as well?
I'll look. You know much about the law?
What do you mean?
Well, if I get out of this, can I bring suit against my sister-in-law?
What's that?
Well, it seems there should be something I can do to close her mouth. All the time Maggie and me were together, she was causing trouble. I could really fix her good.
That's a civil matter. You better see your lawyer about that.
Wait a minute. I'll get the phone. Come on. We can talk in the living room.
Where?
Living room.
All right. You want to go ahead?
Yeah. This is the living room. You can sit down any place.
All right.
A little messy. I haven't spent a lot of time here since she left. Just toss those things on the floor.
Don't worry about it.
You want to see if you can find that note now?
Yeah, I think maybe it's in the desk. I'll get it.
Wait a minute. I'll have a look first.
You guys don't trust anybody, do you?
That's the way it's going to be. You got to go with it.
All right. Better make sure I haven't got a machine gun hidden in there.
You know, you've done pretty good up to here, Shane. Don't press your luck.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tear the place up. Too bad I haven't got a wall bed. You could look for her in there.
Doesn't seem to make any difference to you that your wife left at all, does
That's
it?
the way it looks.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't far off. Real load off my back. We've been married over 4 years, and all that time I haven't had a minute's rest. Thinking how she was going to run off with somebody else. Figured that she'd drop me. Now it's over. I don't have to worry anymore.
You got it wrong, Shane.
That's right.
Yeah. Take a look, Joe.
Hey, what do you got there? You got no right to go through my personal things.
When did you see your wife last?
I'm not going to say anything more. You're trying to lead me into something.
Looks like you found your own way. Now, how about it?
I'm not going to talk anymore.
All right. You call it any way you want. No matter how it turns out, you're going to carry the load.
All right. She left on the 27th.
That's the last time you saw her?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything from her since then?
No.
And I hope you got an answer for these.
What do you got?
A couple of checks made out to you, and they're signed by your wife.
Well, what's that prove?
The dates on the checks make a liar out of you, Shane.
Huh?
They were written a week after she left you. We made a search of the house, but we failed to turn up anything more that would tie Gordon Shane in with his wife's disappearance. We looked through the desk, and we found several letters that she'd written. These were taken for handwriting comparison. We also found several pictures of the missing woman. A check with the neighbors failed to give us anything further to work on. All of them told us of constant fights between Shane and his wife. One of the people said that on several occasions the sound of sobbing had been heard coming from the house. At 5:20 p.m., Frank and I left the place and took Shane down to the city hall. The checks and samples of Mrs. Shane's writing were turned over to Larry Sloan for comparison. We put in a call to the crime lab, but we found that the blood grouping tests were not finished. 6:12. We took the suspect to the interrogation room.
Just sit down over there, Shane.
Okay. How long do you think you're going to be able to hold me?
Depends on when we get the truth.
Well, you saw the cut on my foot. You didn't find anything at the house. Look, you're grabbing at shadows.
You still haven't told us about the checks.
No reason to. Everything I say, you twist around so it ends up something I don't mean.
Where'd you get the checks?
From Maggie.
What about the date on them?
I don't know. I guess she made a mistake when they were written.
Where'd you get them?
Found them in the desk.
Well, didn't you think it was kind of funny that your wife would write a couple of checks and just leave them laying around on the desk?
No. Maggie was always doing something like that. She didn't care about money.
How about you, Shane?
Huh?
Does it make any difference to you?
Look, I'm getting tired of this. Some crazy old bag comes in here, tells you a fairy tale, and you buy it all away. Any special reason why you're taking my sister-in-law's word for it?
The way she tells us seems to add up.
Well, then, you better go over the column again. My wife walked out on me. There wasn't any fight when it happened. She just picked up and she left. I don't know where she is. I don't much care. But you put this down in your book. I didn't kill her. Now look, leave me alone. When do I get to call a lawyer?
We'll set it up for you.
Well, do it fast, because you're getting nothing more from me.
That's the way you want it.
Wasn't any other way. I'm telling you the truth, and you don't believe it. Might as well keep my mouth shut so you can't make it any worse.
All right, Gordon. We'll take you over to the main jail. You can call your lawyer from there.
What are you holding me on?
Suspicion of murder.
You just don't give up, do you?
Look, we got to go along with the evidence.
Well, you better check it again, because you're making a mistake somewhere along the line.
That's the way it looks to you, does it?
Yeah. Go over the road again. Find that you're a cop.
No, let's do it the easy way.
Huh?
You point it out. The suspect was removed to the main jail and held for further investigation. Frank checked the office, and I went down the hall to talk to Larry Sloan in handwriting.
Joe, how's it going?
You all through with those checks, Larry?
Just wrapping it up.
All right to wait?
Sure, sit down.
Okay.
What do you figure?
I want you to tell us.
Mm-hmm. How'd it start?
Complaint. The woman wanted us to find her sister.
Well, where did the checks fit in?
Found him with her husband. Date's a couple of days after she disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Figure he might have written them, huh?
Well, that's one way.
Well, that does it.
Okay, what do you got?
The endorsement on the back is Shane's writing.
His signature.
Yeah, here you can see it. No trouble there. The O's, Wade pulls the stroke down on the S. That's his.
What about the writing on the face?
Well, look here. Shading on the G.
Yeah.
Where the crossbar on the T's pulled up. These are the samples, and you got the same thing right here.
No doubt about it, huh?
Not with me.
Okay.
The woman wrote the checks.
Joe.
In here, Frank.
Oh.
Just talked with Lee at the crime lab.
Yeah?
He finished the grouping test.
What do you find?
Got in touch with Karen Moffat. Found out the missing woman's blood type.
Yeah.
Stains on the floor aren't hers. They belong to Shane.
How you doing, Joe?
Not good. Looks like we got the wrong man in jail, doesn't it?
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Frank and I left the office and went over to the main jail to see Gordon Shane. We talked to him for over an hour. He told us that he and his wife had been having trouble for quite a while and that they'd separated on several occasions. He went on to tell us that he didn't know for sure whether there was another man involved, but that he'd heard his wife spent a lot of time in a small bar on Vermont Avenue. He said that it was possible we could pick up some information on her there. Frank and I left the jail and drove over to the place. It was an average neighborhood tavern. We talked to the bartender.
Only one way to describe her. Man, oh, man.
Well, was there anybody special that Mrs. Shane spent a lot of time with, would you know?
Gee, I don't know. A lot of people in here like a family. Guess if you had to nail it down, it'd be Leonard.
Who's Leonard?
Another regular. He's here almost every afternoon.
He and Mrs. Shane were pretty friendly, huh?
Yeah, real buddies. They used to come in and get gas together, spend the whole afternoon, sit down there at the inn and play horse. Play it by the hour. Not for money. We don't allow that in here.
What do you know about him?
Not much. Doesn't figure him and Maggie had hit it off, though.
Why do you say that?
Well, it just doesn't. She liked her fellas big, you know, dark and handsome. Leonard's a little guy, not more than 5'4". Sure ain't anything to look at.
What's his last name?
I think it's P-U-R-D-Y, Purdy. It seems like it's it.
What's he look like?
Not much about him you'd remember. He's a little guy, blonde hair, real bad complexion. Has a mustache, you know, big, kind of handlebar-like.
Yeah. You know where he lived?
Not for sure. I think he's got a room over on Fountain someplace. I don't know the number.
Where's your phone?
Through the back door, there.
Thanks.
On the left.
I'll check it, Jim.
All right. Does this Purdy work for a living?
No, regular.
What's he do, you know?
He's some kind of salesman, door to door. I don't know what he peddles. Seen him a couple of times with a sample case, though.
Has he been around lately?
No. Hadn't thought about it, but I guess I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks.
You ever hear what he and Mrs. Shane talked about?
Word here and there. Nothing you could put together. I think she spent the time with him because she didn't have to worry about it.
How do you mean that?
Well, you know, a little guy like that. Couldn't give her no trouble. He's always around. Maggie didn't have a car, so Leonard would drive her if she wanted to go someplace.
What kind of a car?
41 DeSoto. Parked it out back a couple of times. It's a real wreck.
All right.
What'd she do, huh? Maggie, what are you after her for?
Like I said, we'd like to talk to her.
Sure does if you get to know her. After that, doesn't matter how much money she spends, she can't put you back.
She spent quite a bit in here, did she?
Yeah? Her and Leonard had really put the drinks away. Both of them had hollow legs. You know, I've seen some pretty heavy drinkers walk up against them. They don't stand a chance. Maggie can really put it away. It always causes trouble.
How do you mean?
It's loud. Yelling all over about how she could buy and sell everybody in a place. A couple of times I had to ask her to get out. Things like that hurt business, you know.
She carry a lot of money with her, did she?
Oh, yeah, always had a bundle. Said she was an heiress or something. I don't know. She was always loaded, though.
Anything on Purdy?
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah?
Got out of the state mental hospital 6 months ago.
From his package, we found that Leonard Purdy had been arrested several times for suspicion of grand theft. However, he hadn't been convicted on any of them. Also, there were 18 drunk arrests against him. We put in the call to Georgia Street Psycho Detail, and we talked to Lieutenant Quinn. He remembered Purdy. He went on to say that the suspect had been in to see him several times since his release. He told us that Purdy had committed himself to the state hospital as an alcoholic. Quinn went on to say that when Purdy was drunk, he became violent, and that on 3 of his arrests, it had taken several officers to subdue him. We contacted the authorities up at Camarillo. They told us that the suspect had been released by them after treatment, and that he apparently was cured. We checked the last address in his package, but we found that he'd moved. A local and an APB was gotten out on him. We asked DMV to furnish any and all information on a car registered to him. 2 days went by without a word of him. In the meantime, we talked to all of his friends and acquaintances. From each one of them, we got the same story. Leonard Purdy was a freeloader who'd do anything for $1. On Thursday, April 10th, we got word that the suspect had been seen in a second-hand store down on Main Street. We checked the area and got an identification from his mugshot. He'd come in to pawn a man's watch. From the buy book, we got an address out on Gladys Avenue. We talked to the landlady and found that the suspect was in his room. Frank and I went upstairs.
Who's that, huh?
No. Want to talk to you, Purdy.
Just a minute. Yeah, what do you want?
You Leonard Purdy?
That's right. Who are you guys?
Police officers who want to talk to you.
I got nothing to do with cops. I had my fill up.
Yeah.
Why don't you come in?
Frank?
Yeah. You be here long?
Not long.
That's good. I don't feel like making small talk. I'd offer you a drink, but there's just barely enough for me. You can understand.
Put the glass down, Purdy.
What?
Put it down.
Look, you got no right to come in here and tell me what to do. Nobody asked you.
Oh, Miss McLaughlin. This fur coat belong to you, Purdy?
Yeah, I get cold now.
You know a woman by the name of Margaret Shane?
Never heard of her.
You sure about that?
I'm sure. I got nothing to answer to you for. You come in here and tell me what to do. I don't have to give you one single answer about nothing.
You better come up with one.
What's that?
This coat.
What about it?
It's got Margaret Shane's name in it.
It must be a mistake. I don't know anybody named Shane. Nobody.
We got a lot of people who say you do.
You telling me the truth?
Same people tell us you were with her when she disappeared.
They don't know what they're talking about.
The way they put it, it's pretty straight.
Who told you? Who? Just give me some names.
Everybody we talked to.
They said I was with her?
That's right. Now, where is she?
I don't know.
You got to do better than that.
No, it's the truth. I don't know where she is.
Mm-hmm.
I killed her, but I don't know where she is.
We took the suspect down to the city hall and questioned him. He finally sobered up enough to tell us that he'd gotten into an argument with the Shane woman and he'd beaten her to death. He went on to say that his car was being repaired and that he'd rented one and driven it out into the desert. He buried the victim there. We showed him maps of the area, but he was unable to tell us where to find the body. He only knew that he'd put it in the culvert along the roadside. We got the name of the automobile rental agency, and we called them. Their records gave us the date of the rental and the mileage the car had been driven. We put the suspect in our car and started out toward the Mojave Desert. As we drove, Purdy verified our route. By dividing the total mileage in half and figuring the distance between his house and the office of the auto rental company, we had a vague idea where to start looking. After we'd been driving for over 2 hours, we pulled to the side of the road.
How's the look around here?
Yeah, it might be it. I think up the road a little way. Remember that big rock over there? Remember that pretty good. It's up ahead a little.
Right. We drove for another 30 minutes, and then Purdy directed us to pull off onto a dirt road. We drove another half a mile, and we came to the end of the road.
We can't go any further.
Don't have to.
Huh?
I remember now. Let's get out of the car.
Just stay close to us, Purdy, right here.
All right.
Which way?
Over here. Sure a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's different when you get out in the country. Everything's got a different color.
Come on, Purdy. Where is she?
Over there behind the bushes.
I'll go look.
Always been the big trouble.
What's that?
Boozing it up. Every time I get a few drinks, I don't know what I'm doing. Thought after I got out of the hospital, I had it made, you know. I'd be able to stay away from it.
Yeah.
First time I had trouble, I went back. I always went back.
How about it?
Yeah. She's there. All the time, that's what caused the trouble. Wouldn't be if it wasn't for me boozing it up.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just stay away from it, I wouldn't have any problems. I want to give it up if I could just find a way.
You got one now.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 14th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California in and for the County of Los Angeles. Leonard Eiler Purdy pled guilty to murder in the second degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. Murder in the second degree is punishable by imprisonment for a period of from 5 years to life in the state penitentiary.
Dragnet. The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. You get a call from the Georgia Street Hospital. A woman has been brought in to receive emergency treatment. She says she was kidnapped and robbed. Your job? Investigate.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, February 4th. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detective Thad Brown. My name's Friday. We're on our way out from the office, and it was 8:32 when we got to Georgia Street Hospital, the treatment room.
Dr. Hall?
Oh, hi, Frank. Be right with you. Excuse me.
Certainly, Doctor.
Hi. Hi, Doctor.
That the Alston woman?
Yeah.
How is she?
Bruised about the face, not too serious. You can leave when you finish with her.
Good. Can we go in now?
Sure. Let me know when you're through with it.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Miss Alston?
Yes?
We're police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How you doing?
I do, ma'am.
Doctor just told us that you could return home when we finish questioning you, so we'll try not to keep you too long.
Thank you. I'm not really hurt much. I was more frightened than anything else.
Yes, ma'am. Would you like to tell us what happened now?
I stopped at a signal at Washington Boulevard in Normandy, and suddenly the car door opened, and a man jumped in the car. I was scared, and I let out a yell.
Mm-hmm. Which door did he open?
Well, on the passenger side. He got right in the front seat beside me.
All right.
He had a knife in his hand. He said not to scream or he'd stab me. Put the knife right against my ribs, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said to drive straight ahead. I did. We went a couple of blocks, I guess it was, and then he said to stop the car. When I pulled over the curb, another man got in the car, in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the knife told me to get in the back seat. And when I did, he gave the knife to the other man. Then he started to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And the man in the back took my purse from the front seat and started going through it. I don't know why I did, but I grabbed for it. It was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
He slapped me real hard. He said that was just a sample. I'd get some more if I didn't just sit quiet. He took the money I had in my billfold and he grabbed my arm. He twisted it so he saw I had a watch on. And I hesitated when he told me to take it off, and then he hit me again.
He took your watch, too, did he?
Yeah, and my ring, too.
Can you give us the serial number on the watch?
Yes, I have it written down at home.
We need a description of the ring, too.
All right.
Would you go on, please?
Sure, I'd wind up as a picture and a headline in tomorrow's paper, one way or the other.
How do you mean that?
Well, he was driving like a maniac. He's breaking all kinds of laws.
Yes, ma'am.
Then I thought, well, maybe this might be a good thing. His driving like that, I mean, because a police car started chasing us. I could hear the siren, and I thought I saw the red lights flashing.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping they'd catch us, but, well, somehow we got away from them. This man took so many chances and all. No wonder we didn't smash up sooner.
You mean that you did have an accident later on?
You don't know about that?
No.
Well, after he got away from the police car, this man kept driving real crazy and dangerous. Finally, we went down a dead-end street. He put on the brakes, but it was too late, and we smashed into a wall of some kind.
Yeah.
And they got out of the car, and they started running. I started screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyhow, some man came out of a building. I told him what had happened, and he called the police and the ambulance. Here I am. Still some shaky, but thankful it wasn't any worse.
Can you give us a description of these two men?
Well, not much, I'm afraid. That makes me feel pretty stupid, too.
What do you mean, ma'am?
Well, I'm always doing those observation tests in magazines. I get real high ratings, and when I'm up against the real thing, I fail miserably.
Can you give us a general idea of their age, their coloring, their height, the way they were dressed?
I don't think they were too old. Maybe around 20 or so.
Mm-hmm.
They had dark hair. I can't tell you how tall they were. The only time I saw them standing up was when they ran away from the car.
I see.
As I remember, the one that drove had on a sport coat, tan color. And the one in the back had on a brown suede jacket. You know, the kind with the knit cuffs and the collar and the waist. That's about all I can remember. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Miss Austin. We appreciate the fact you're under a pretty bad strain.
I really thought they'd kill me.
Yes, ma'am. You remember if they were clean shaven?
You mean that they have mustaches?
That's right.
No, they didn't.
Well, you remember if either of them had any scars or marks on their faces, anything distinguishing that might help us identify them later?
Well, if they did, I didn't see any, but... Well, there was one thing. I don't know if it means anything.
Yeah.
The one that was driving had a bandage on his thumb. I could see that because he held the steering wheel up near the top.
On which hand?
The right one. It was all wrapped up, you know, all around, not just an adhesive kind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I can't give you more information. That would make me happier than for you to catch them. Especially the one that kept hitting me, the one in the back seat.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
I think he enjoyed it. He'd grin when he did it. After I made the mistake of grabbing for my purse. I tried not to give him a reason to hit me again. It didn't help. He just hit me when he felt like it. No reason at all.
Really wouldn't have made any difference what you did, ma'am.
How do you mean, Mr. Friday?
Men like that,
Yeah?
they don't need a reason. We continued to question Gwen Alston, but she could add nothing further that would aid us in identifying the suspects. She did give us a description of the ring. She said she would call and give us the serial number of her watch. She couldn't tell us anything about the knife used to intimidate her other than the fact that it had a blade about 6 inches long. We asked her to come down to the city hall and check the mug books. Dr. Hall released the victim, and she returned home in the company of her brother. The radio unit that had answered the call had gotten out a local broadcast on the two suspects. They impounded the victim's car, and it had been moved to the official police garage. 9:37 p.m. Frank and I drove over to Wall Street. The crew from Leighton Prince had just finished going over the car.
Hi, Joe, Frank.
Hi, Harlan. How are you?
You fellas draw this one?
Yeah. You going to give us some help this time?
Yeah, just finishing. Doesn't look too good.
Yeah?
Got a couple of partials, nothing real clean.
Well, what we got from the victim, it looks like we got our work cut out for us on this.
What do you mean, Joe?
Well, all she could give us in the way of a description would fit any number of guys.
I see. Well, we got something out of the back seat that might be of some use to you.
What's that, Harlan?
I got it right here in an envelope. There you are, Joe.
What's this?
That aluminum container has some corneal lenses in it.
What do you mean?
Eyeglasses. You know, the kind that fit right in the eye.
Oh. Where'd you find them?
In the back seat, right on top of the cushion.
Well, it might be something. We'll have to check with the Alston woman, see if they belong to her or anybody in her family.
Yeah. What is this case, Joe?
Kidnapping robbery.
How many suspects?
2.
One woman in the car? Yeah. Hurt her at all?
Yeah, beat her up a little.
Huh. Real He-Man, huh? I sure wish I had more for you fellas to go on.
Yeah, Harlan, we don't have much, but at least we know something.
What's that, Joe?
When we reach these two,
Yeah?
they won't give us any fight. We went back to the office and called Gwen Alston. She told us the corneal lenses found in her car did not belong to her or to any member of her immediate family. She also gave us the serial number on her watch. We took the container over to the crime lab. Ray Pinker said because of the facets on the lenses, he thought it was a type made by the Stimson Company. The next morning, we drove out to their shop. We talked to George Dudley. We showed him the lenses.
Yes, that's our lens. You can tell quite easily when you hold it up to the light. See those little facets?
Mm-hmm. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Could you tell us who these were made for, Dudley?
I can give you the name of the optician.
Appreciate it if you could.
I'll have to check our files, but it shouldn't take too long.
All right, sir.
Ordinarily, we'd have checked lens power, diameter, and radius curvature.
Yes, sir.
But this is a special type lens.
That's so?
It's used to correct the condition of the eye known as keratoconus.
What's that, sir?
The conical cornea.
Oh.
We don't make too many of them. Excuse me, I'll get the name of the optician for you.
All right, fine.
Pretty good deal, huh?
Yeah.
I know a fellow who wears them. Says he used to hate to get a haircut, but not anymore.
All right.
Yeah, with these glasses on his eyes, now he can get his haircut and still read the magazines.
Oh.
I found it for you.
That's good.
These are made for John L. Roberts.
Just a minute, sir. I'd like to write that down. Okay, go ahead, please.
John L. Roberts, 439 Camden Drive, Beverly Hills.
Thank you, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
This is the optician that sent in the prescription, huh?
That's right.
All right, fine. Thanks for your cooperation, Dudley.
Not at all. I always get a kick out of helping you fellas.
Yes, sir.
A lot of steps to solve a crime, aren't there?
Quite a few, yeah.
Sure hope I've given you a little something.
You have?
A lot of steps.
Yes, sir. You helped us make the first one. We drove out to Beverly Hills and we talked to John L. Roberts. He checked the prescription number against his files and gave us the name and address of a Robert Brierton as the man he had fitted with the corneal lenses. Frank and I went over to the house on Bedford Street, but there was nobody home. We found out from a neighbor that Brierton worked for a coin machine repair company on Pico Boulevard. We located the concern, and the manager showed us where we could find the suspect. 10:13 a.m. Robert Brierton? Is your name Robert Brierton?
Yeah?
Police officers. It's our identification.
Joe Friday?
That's right. It's Frank Smith. Hi, Howard. I'd like to ask you some questions.
What about?
You wear those glasses all the time?
Do I what?
The glasses you got on. Do you wear them for work?
Yeah, most of the time. What's this about glasses?
You ever wear any other kind?
Yeah, why?
What kind?
Well, how many kinds are there?
Why don't you tell us?
I don't get this. What am I supposed to have done?
You wear another kind of glasses? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
What kind?
They're corneal lens type.
Where are they?
I don't know. Home, I guess.
You're not sure.
Look, officers, I don't know what you're after, but if it's something that happened in the last 20 years, you've got the wrong guy.
Well, if we have, then you got nothing to worry about, have you?
That's right, but mistaken identity can be embarrassing. I'd just like to know what I'm supposed to have done.
Suppose you tell us about the other glasses, huh?
The corneal lens?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to know about them?
Like we said before, we want to know where they are.
Well, like I said, home.
You sure?
Yeah?
How many pair do you have?
One.
You wear glasses all the time?
Yeah?
Can you see without them?
Yeah, but not too good.
Where were you the night before last?
At home?
How about last night?
Same.
All night.
Right.
Can you prove it?
Yeah, my wife will tell you that. You can call her on the phone. She'll tell you I didn't leave the house.
All right. We'll go out there.
You can call her just as well.
We'd like to see your other glasses, too.
All right. You mind telling me what this is all about?
We're investigating a kidnapping and robbery.
You think I had something to do with it?
We're investigating.
Okay, if that's how it is, I got nothing to hide. You want to go right now?
That's right.
My jacket's right here in the locker.
Wait a minute, I'll get it for you. This it?
Yeah, the brown suede with the net trim.
We took Robert Brierton with us, and we drove out to his home. On the way, he continued to deny any knowledge of the crime. Because the victim, Gwen Alston, had been unable to furnish us with much of a description of the suspects, it was difficult to determine whether or not Brierton was one of the men. He had dark hair. He was in his early 20s. The suede jacket he wore checked out. 11:07 a.m.
Anna? Anna? Guess you didn't hear.
It's all right. We'll wait for her.
Now, I've been trying to make up my mind whether I should be mad or not. I know you're only doing what you have to, so I guess there's no need to get overheated, but I'll say it again. You got the wrong guy.
Well, if we're wrong, we'll admit it.
Just hope this doesn't put me in bad down at work.
No need for it, too, if you're innocent.
I suppose so. You want to sit down? I don't know just when my wife will get back.
If you don't mind, we'd like to see your other glasses now.
Oh, sure, I'll get them for you.
Where are they?
Well, I usually keep them on the bedroom dresser when I'm not using them.
All right, we'll go with you, all right?
Sure. Hope she made the bed. She's a pretty good housekeeper, but sometimes she gets a little sloppy about it.
Yeah.
I swear they were right here on the dresser.
Yeah.
I haven't had them too long. I switch off with these that I'm wearing.
Did you wear them yesterday?
Yeah, but then they should still be on the dresser. I don't know where they could be.
Well, maybe we can help you.
What do you mean?
Who's back there?
Anna?
What are you doing home?
Honey, these are police officers. This is my wife.
I do.
How you doing, ma'am?
What are they doing here?
We'd like to talk to you, Miss Brierton.
About what?
Now, don't worry, dear.
But what's it all about?
Would you like to step out in the other room, please?
It's all right, dear.
I don't understand this.
Listen, do. Can you tell us where your husband was Tuesday night?
He was home with me.
How about last night?
He was here all evening.
You sure?
Yes, he came home from work and stayed in all evening.
Oh, I see.
What is it?
Police business.
You think Robert had something to do with it?
Yes, we do.
When did this happen?
Last night.
I told you he was home all evening.
That may be true, but these corneal lenses were found in the victim's car.
They belong to Robert?
That's what his optician told us, yeah.
It's all wrong.
Well, the victim was beaten by a man who wore a jacket, brown suede with knit trim. That's the kind your husband owns, you know.
But he wasn't out of the house, I tell you.
I'm afraid we'll have to take him downtown.
No, he didn't do it. I know it.
I'm sorry, Miss Brierton. These are your husband's lenses. They were found in the victim's car.
But he was with me all evening.
That may be, but we're going to have to hold him.
No, he didn't do it. It was Gordon.
Gordon who?
I let him wear Robert's jacket last night.
Well, who's Gordon?
My brother.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Mrs. Briarton went on to explain that she let her younger brother take the suede jacket the previous night. She also told us that the boy was living with them while he attended school. After questioning her further, we learned that Gordon Heddig had been in trouble with the police before. We called the office and asked Jack Crowley to check the name and description through R&I. We also asked that if he came up with a record, he'd have Harlan Stahl compare Heddig's fingerprints with the partials found in the victim's car. Frank and I got the address of the school that the boy was attending, and we drove over to see him. We waited in a small office while the school authorities located him.
Well, Miss Alston was right about what she told us.
What do you mean?
Well, she said she couldn't give us a very accurate description.
Yeah.
She said the ages might be around 20 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Not many high school students look 20, not even seniors.
Yeah, that's true, but according to what the Briartons told us, this could be the boy.
Yeah, that's right.
Come in. Come on in, son. Close the door. You Gordon Heddig?
Yeah.
Police officers, Heddig.
What do you want me to do? Stand at attention?
I told you once to come on in. Now, come on over here.
Sure, but remember where you are. These ain't soundproof walls.
I don't play tough with us, son. Sit down.
You see, the orders always tell you guys what to do. Sit down, stand up. You're all the same. Never get off a guy's
All right,
back.
now, just keep still.
I'm sitting in school trying to learn something. You got to come around and jerk me out of class. Why don't you wait until General Assembly? There's the whole school in on it. I don't care what you do to a guy's reputation.
That's what you think, is it?
Yeah.
Now, listen, son, we never heard of you before today, but we're finding out fast. The way we got it, you've gone way out of your way to make your own record, and you didn't do it in the classroom. We've got a good reason to be here. If you're innocent, you won't have to worry about what anyone in this school thinks.
You don't sell me, mister.
We don't have to, son. If you're clean, it's like we never met you. But I'm going to put it right on the line for you. The way this thing shapes up right now, we think you already bought yourself another hunk of trouble.
Figures. I'm made before I go in.
That's where you're wrong, kid. Nobody's going to tag you with a bum beef. You give us the right answers, and like my partner said, we never met you.
All right. What do you want from me?
You can start by telling us what you did last night.
I went to a show.
Where?
Downtown.
What time?
Oh, around 7, I guess.
Who was with you?
Nobody. Went by myself.
What was the name of the theater?
The Dawn.
What'd you see?
What pictures?
Yeah.
I don't remember right off. One was a Western. It was about spies.
You're all by yourself.
I said so, didn't I?
What time did you get out of the show?
Around 10, I guess.
What'd you do then?
Went home.
What kind of clothes did you have on last night?
What do you mean?
What were you wearing?
Oh, jacket, sports shirt, usual stuff.
What kind of jacket?
Suede.
Belong to you?
No, my brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm. How'd you get out to Washington and Normandy?
To where?
Washington and Normandy.
I told you I was downtown. Say, what is this?
You tell us. You were in that car, weren't you?
What car?
The one you beat the woman in.
Oh, you're crazy.
Who was with you?
I told you I was alone. What more do you want?
The name of the person that was with you.
I don't know what you're trying to tag me with, but you're not going to make it this time. I told you I was at a show by myself. How do you think you can prove I wasn't?
We found the lenses you lost from the jacket pocket.
Boy, this gets wilder all the time. I was sitting in the show last night, that's it.
In other words, you don't want to tell us about it, is that it?
About the show.
All right, Heddig, you play it your way. It's going to take us a little longer, that's all.
Same old story. Don't make any difference what I say. You know I got a record, so I'm guilty. Don't make any difference. Either way, I'm the pigeon.
No, you're wrong. Not with us, Heddig.
Oh, come on. I just didn't fall off the Christmas tree.
There's only one way we want you.
Yeah?
If you're wrong. We took Gordon Heddig to the city hall for further questioning. We called Gwen Alston and asked her to come down and see if she could identify the suspect. Harlan Stahl said the suspect's fingerprints matched the partials found in the car, but there weren't enough points to build a case on. 2:47 p.m. Frank and I had the suspect brought to the squad room.
Why don't you give up? I ain't going to cop out to something I didn't do.
We don't expect you to, but we still want to know how a container with your brother-in-law's lenses could be found in the back seat of a victim's car. Now, they were in his jacket, and you wore that jacket. Isn't that right?
Don't ask me. I was at the show.
Yeah, so you said.
Another thing, you guys better treat me pretty good while I'm in here.
Yeah?
Sure. I'm a kid. Don't forget.
Yeah, that's the way it reads on the books. For my money, that's as far as it goes. I told you once we can put you in the back seat of that car. I get it. Robbery Friday. Right. Send her down, will you? Right away. Thank you. I'm going to tag the business office. I'll be right back.
Okay, John.
Miss Alston?
Hello, Sergeant Friday. I got down as soon as I could.
All right, fine.
Have you got the man here?
Well, we'd like you to tell us. We'll go down the hall here.
Well, what do I have to do?
Just look into this room. Tell me if you see the man that beat you up.
Will I have to face him?
No. We'll go around here. You can look through the door. Come on.
All right.
All right, here. Now do you see him? Well, what about it?
Yes. That's him there.
We confronted Gordon Heddick with the fact that he'd been positively identified by the person he'd beaten and robbed. He still refused to admit any knowledge of the crime. We booked him on Section 700 Sub-M, robbery. A check was made of the FI cards in an attempt to identify the person who'd been with Heddick the night before. We called Newton University and 77th Street divisions. When we checked with Central, a clerk went through the files and found that the suspect had been stopped at 9th and Main Streets at 10 p.m. the previous night. Frank and I went over to the First Street station.
It's the FI card you wanted, Sergeant.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, here's what we're looking for.
Yeah?
Wasn't alone. A person by the name of John Burko was with him.
Officer make a card on him, too?
Yeah, I got it here.
What about the other guy?
Thank you. John Burko, B-E-R-K-O, age 19, 506 Holt Avenue.
Yeah.
Something else in the back here that checks out.
What's that?
Notation the officer made.
Yeah.
Burko's right thumb was bandaged. We went back to the office and ran the name John Burko through R&I. We found a package for him that showed several arrests as a juvenile and one as an adult for suspicion of ADW. Gwen Alston was shown his mug shot, and she identified him as the other suspect. We drove out to his address on Holt Street. It was a boarding house. The owner admitted us to his room. We waited. 4 hours went by. 8:19 p.m. All right, Burko, hold it right there.
What?
Police officers, get your hands over your head. Come on, move.
Sure.
Over the door. Come on. Hands up on the door. All right, now hold it right there. All right. Okay. He's clean, Joe.
What's the pitch?
Come on, turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
All right. Take it easy with my thumb. I think I got blood poisoning.
Yeah.
Now, you want to tell me what this is about?
A friend of yours sent us over to get you. Says you always work together on everything. She's kind of lonesome without you.
Who are you talking about?
Heddick.
He sent you here. He copped out to you?
All right, let's go.
What did he say?
You figured. We're here.
That Fink. Big talk about how he'd never cop out to anything. Never admit nothing. Well, that's the way it is when you get mixed up with young squirts.
All right, let's go.
Lousy punk. Suppose you know how he beat up that woman.
Yep.
Should have heard him afterwards, laughing about how he hit her. Should have figured he'd cop out if he got nailed. No guts. Got to beat up on women. No guts at all.
Well, that's real funny, isn't it?
What's that?
We just talked to him.
Yeah?
He said the same things about you.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 9th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. A petition was filed on Gordon Heddick, alleging one count of robbery and kidnapping. He was declared unfit as a juvenile and ordered to be tried in Superior Court. Gordon Jerome Heddick and John Carlton Burko were tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree, one count, and kidnapping for the purpose of robbery. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment for a period of not less than 5 years. Kidnapping for the purpose of robbery with bodily harm is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for life without possibility of parole.
Dragnet, The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary division. You get a call that an important piece of religious art has been stolen from the oldest church in Los Angeles. There's no lead to its whereabouts. Your job? Find it.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, December 24th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working a day watch out of burglary division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. I'd gone across the street to buy stamps for some Christmas cards I was sending out. It was 9:15 a.m. when I got back to room 45. Burglary. I sat down at a table in the squad room and I started to address the cards when Frank walked in carrying a stack of Christmas boxes.
Hi, Joe.
All right.
Christmas cards, huh? A little late, aren't you?
Well, I was going to send them out Monday, but we had that stakeout.
You ought to get married, Joe.
Yeah?
It's the only system. Faye does all that stuff for me. Laundry, mails, cards. Only system.
Might help.
I brought in your present. Want to open it now?
No, I'll wait.
I always open a couple the day before.
Why?
Well, put you in the spirit ahead of time. I opened Phil's this morning.
Who's he?
Faye's brother in Denver. Gave me a magazine, one of those funny ones.
What do you mean, a comic book?
No, one of those funny ones, you know.
No, I don't, Frank.
Well, some of the pages have holes in them. You look through and there's a picture on the next page.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those on the newsstand.
They have cloth pasted in.
Cloth?
In the ads. If you want to buy a suit, they have a sample right there.
You mean you can feel it?
Reach right out and feel it. There was one for $200.
A suit?
Sure. Cloth comes from Scotland.
What's it made out of? Solid gold?
No, they got a special kind of goat over there. It's real smooth.
Not a goat, Frank. A sheep.
Well, it's a special kind of sheep, then, because the suit costs $200.
You going to get one?
I told Faye. She said, wear the sample. Anything doing?
Fanning and Pryor were in on that market holdup.
They come up with anything?
Pound of air, nothing else.
I hope it stays quiet. I got more shopping to do.
I finished.
What'd you get in?
Stationery set, some paper and envelopes, leather binding.
Joe, you'll never learn.
Well, what's the matter?
No woman wants a stationery set. Get her something personal.
Well, it's got her initials on it.
No. You want something more sentimental, romantic.
What'd you get Faye?
It's different in her case.
What'd you get Faye?
Sewing machine.
That's romantic.
Well, it isn't a way.
Why didn't you buy her a catcher's mitt? Burglary Friday. Yes, that's right. You have the right department. All right, Father, we'll be right down. No, you can tell us about it there. Goodbye. The old mission church, they've had a theft.
Collection money?
Statue of the child Jesus. Frank and I checked out of the office and rode over to the church at the corner of Sunset Boulevard and Main. The Old Mission Plaza Church, founded 1781, the year Los Angeles became a pueblo. The outside was typical early Spanish design, complete with mission arches. It was made of adobe and painted white. They called it the Queen of the Angels. The Padres from down in Mexico built it. The devout Mexicans in town still attended services there. 10:05 a.m. Frank and I crossed through the courtyard. It used to be the old stable, but the Spanish priest changed all that when it became a mission. Stonemasons paved the stable floor and made it a courtyard. They planted grapevines, trees, and flowers. A young priest crossed the courtyard to meet us. He'd been sitting on a stone bench reading his morning prayers, as priests had done here for 172 years. We asked for Father Xavier Rojas, who communicated with us. We were told he was inside. We entered a side door. The church seemed to glow with the hundreds of votive candles flickering on both sides of the altar and at the shrines throughout the church. It was empty except for a few people praying. Surrounding the main altar were several old oil paintings in gold frames. The air was heavy with the scent of Advent flowers. We found Father Rojas up near the sanctuary, looking at the nativity scene. He told us about the crib. It was a $70 duplication of the scene at Bethlehem. The parishioners had taken up a collection for it 31 years ago. It was put up every year on December 22nd and taken down after the holy season. It was beautiful, except that one of the shepherds had lost an arm, the sheep was old and cracked, and the infant Jesus was missing. Father Rojas led us back into the sacristy.
I'm sorry to bother you, man.
All right, Father.
Especially now, the holiday season.
We cash our checks, Father. You want to tell us what happened? Or what you think happened?
I discovered the statue was missing right after the 6 o'clock Mass.
You say the 6?
Yes. I started over to the rectory and stopped by the crib.
Was the statue there before Mass?
I don't know, but it was there last night.
How late is the church open?
All night.
You leave it wide open so any thief can walk in?
Particularly thieves, Sergeant.
You say it was there last night, Father? How late?
10 or 11 o'clock. We had confessions.
No one saw it after that?
One of the altar boys. He says it may have been there. He thinks it was.
Did he see it?
He's not sure.
What's his name?
Pardon me. Here's the schedule. You'll find the names for every Mass there.
Was there a big crowd at the 6 o'clock Mass, Father?
Not too many. 7's the big one. People on their way to work.
Did anyone stay after Mass, did you notice?
Not especially. I came back here, took off the vestments. I suppose it was 10 or 15 minutes before I went back in the church.
It was empty then?
No, people were coming in for the 7 o'clock.
Are these the altar boys, James Cornine and Joseph Heffernan?
That's right. Joe's the one who mentioned it might have been there.
Did you check with the other priests, Father?
Before I called you. None of them knows anything about it.
Just for a check on the pawn shops, how much is the statue worth?
In money?
Well, that's the point in pawn shops, Father.
Only a few dollars. We could get a new one, but it wouldn't be the same. We've had children in the parish. They've grown up and married. It's the only Jesus they know.
We understand.
And we've had children who died. It was the only Jesus they knew. So many of the people who come here are simple people. They wouldn't understand, Sergeant. It would be like changing the evening star.
We'll do our best, Father.
That's why it would mean so much to have it back for the first Mass on Christmas.
It's not very long, Father. Less than 24 hours. If anything turns up here, you know where to get in touch with us.
Yes. It's sad, isn't it?
How's that?
In so short a time, men learn to steal.
Yes, but consider us, Father.
Us?
If some of them didn't, you and I'd be out of work. 10:50 a.m. We notified pawn shop detail. Frank and I checked out the 2 altar boys. The first one, James Cornine, said he knew nothing about the missing statue. The second one, Joseph Heffernan, was not at home. His father said he had a part-time job, but he'd have him get in touch with us right after lunch. By 11:30 a.m., we'd run out of book procedure. We had a man to find. Our only clue, he'd been to church. 11:33 a.m. We checked the phone books for the names of religious stores in the area. 2 of them were closed. We tried the third. When we got there, the only person in the store was an elderly man sitting by a table. In front of him was a large, beautifully carved chess set. We're police officers. My name's Friday. This is my partner, Frank Smith.
Great to see you. Caught me in the middle of a big chess match.
Where's your partner?
Up in San Jose. We've been playing for years.
Same match?
No, just 2 or 3 months on this one. What I meant was we've been playing different matches for years.
I see.
You know, we do it through the mail. I send him a move, he sends me one.
Must keep you on your toes.
Except during the holidays, the mail gets all fiddled up. That's no good.
Guess not.
Slows things down. That's no good. I like to catch him off guard.
You Mr. Flavin?
How do you know? We never met.
Your name's on the window out front.
Mr. Flavin, we checked the other 2 religious stores in this neighborhood. They're closed.
It's the best one anyway. 50% European items.
We're checking the stores around the Mission Church.
For what?
Statue of the Child Jesus. Do you have one we could look at?
Sure.
No, sir, a larger one.
You don't want a larger one, unless it's for a church. That's where you want a larger one.
Could we see it, please?
It's not my due to butt in. But unless you live in a big place, this will make your living room all the cuter.
Yes, sir. Do most of the people who go to the Mission Church trade here?
Good many of them, especially the kids.
Why kids?
More religious. Check on yourself. See if kids aren't more religious than you.
Might be so.
That's what's wrong with the world. Oh, I don't mean you're wrong with it. Everybody.
Yes, sir. What if we could stick to the point, Mr. Flavin?
Sure. A lot of people from the Mission Church come in here.
Do people ever come in and sell back a religious article?
Like a prayer book or rosaries?
Yes, sir.
Second hand, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Not since I've ever been around. It's silly.
Why?
People don't have religious articles so they can get rid of them. They have them so they can have them.
But if a man had a statue and wanted to sell it, he'd come to a place like this.
Sure, but he wouldn't want to sell it.
He would if it was stolen.
No, sir. If a man was to steal a statue, he'd be crazy or something like that. The only place he'd want to go is where crazy people are.
You may be right, Mr. Flavin.
I don't know what you fellas are looking for, but if it's somebody who stole a statue, he's crazy and you won't find him. You won't find him as long as you live, or in 1,000,000 years.
That should cover it. We checked religious stores out as far as Van Ness. We asked the same questions. The owners gave us the same answers, but none of them were as encouraging as Mr. Flavin. Frank and I had lunch and reported back to the office. It was 1:30 p.m. when we started into the squad room. The captain was just coming out.
I just checked for you in the lunchroom.
And we've been out on that theft at the mission.
May get some action on the Patterson case.
They locate him?
I think he's on the bus from Sacramento.
Well, that means the Bakersfield police.
We'll wait and see.
One of you fellas, Sergeant Friday?
He is.
I'm Joe Heffernan. My father said you wanted to see me.
Well, sit down, son. You didn't have to come in. A phone call would have worked.
My father said to get on over. He says that any kid that uses phones is lazy.
We want to ask you about this morning. You serve 6 o'clock Mass?
Yes, sir. I'm senior boy. So I get the 6th.
You're a senior and you take the early trick?
Yes, sir. That way, if you receive communion, you get to have breakfast sooner.
Father Rojas says you think the statue was there before Mass.
I didn't look, but I have a feeling it was there.
A feeling?
You know, how you have a feeling about something, but you're not sure.
Did you stay around long after Mass?
I put out the candles and hung up my surplice.
How long would that take?
About 5 minutes, maybe.
Did any of the people at Mass stay on?
Some always do, especially ladies.
Oh?
Maybe they don't finish in time, or else they start new prayers. I don't know.
So when you left, there were still some women there?
No, sir. That was at first. After I went back to the sacristy, there was only this one man.
What man?
He comes at 6 o'clock all the time.
Do you know his name?
No, sir. But he works down in Olive, paint shop, where they paint signs.
Could you describe him?
Sort of medium. Wearing a suit that didn't match.
Didn't match?
Different pants than coat.
How about his age?
Oh, he's pretty old.
Take a guess.
About 40, maybe. There's nothing particular about him.
Then why'd you notice him?
I've seen him before. And the bundle, I guess.
The bundle?
Out in front. I saw him when he was coming out. He had this bundle, and he almost dropped it.
How large a bundle?
Hard to say.
Come on, son. Was it large or small, the size of the statue?
About that big. Yes, sir.
We located the sign shop. The suspect didn't work there anymore, but we discovered his name was Claude Stroop. We found out where he lived. 2:25 p.m. We arrived there. It was a hotel for men, mostly old men, mostly down and outers. It was called the Golden Dream. Police officers. We're looking for Claude Stroop.
Hope Claude didn't get in any trouble.
So do we. Is he in?
No. He's got room 307. You can check if you like.
We'll take your word.
Were you on this morning?
Yeah, the early shift.
Oh, we don't have shifts. My uncle owns the place. I'm the shift.
Did Stroop spend last night here?
Came in about 11.
When did he leave this morning?
Around 6, maybe before.
Did he come back after?
8 o'clock or so. Then left. Supposed to be back at 10. And pulls this trick.
What trick?
Our program. He knows the other fellas need him.
Program?
Here at the hotel. Every Christmas we have a program. Put up a tree and sing. They're mostly old fellas. Singing like that makes them remember back when they were kids. Then Jimmy Finn comes on.
Jimmy Finn?
He shares number 409. His family once had a lot of money, so he tells the fellas about it. Stories about Christmas. How they had this big log, and his grandfather used to start it up. And after dinner, everybody turned over his plate, and there underneath was a $20 gold piece. Brand new one.
When Stroop came in this morning, did he have a bundle?
I didn't see him come in.
You said you saw him.
I saw him go out after, but not come in.
When was that?
8. If you want to look for a bundle, I could give you his key.
We don't have a warrant.
It's all right. I know about police. It's all right with me.
It's not with us.
I didn't mean that. I just meant it was all right with me.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen.
There were 3 old men. We couldn't tell how much better they would have been with Stroop singing the 4th part, but somehow you didn't care. This was Christmas at the Golden Dream, and it sounded fine.
That night, though the frost was cruel, when the poor man came in sight, carrying winter fuel.
This is the last rehearsal. I got most of the songs down pat.
Sounds pretty good.
That's why it's a shame Claude isn't here. He's tenor, and they need him to make it sound just right.
Does Stroop have a job?
No, sir. He used to have jobs. Not much lately, though.
Did he say where he was going?
No, he should have. The fellas need him.
When he comes in, will he call us?
Sure, and not say anything to him.
That's right.
I hope it's nothing serious for Claude. Fella's troubles ought to be over.
Troubles?
Way back. Wouldn't count now.
Tell us anyway.
Well, I don't know much about it.
As much as you know. Now, come on.
It was something back where he used to live. He robbed somebody or something.
What else?
That's all. It was a long time ago, way far back. But he forgot it all, the robbing and everything.
No, not quite. He remembered it this morning.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. For Jesus Christ our Savior was born upon this day to save
We went back to the office and ran Stroop's name through R&I. If he'd been booked anywhere, we had no record of it, at least not under that name. 4:15 p.m. Pawn shop detail reported back. No object resembling the statue of the child Jesus had been turned in. 4:18 p.m. I hung up the phone.
Patterson's on that Sacramento bus. I thought Bakersfield had it. They were supposed to confirm. They did. Upward station.
What about Fanning and Pryor?
They're still out.
Well, they'll be back soon. When's the bus arrive?
6 o'clock.
Well, there's plenty of time for them to make it.
There's more time for you. We're still in that theft. Can it wait?
No.
What is it? $10, $15 statue?
When's the price determine a case?
I realize it's a church statue, but that doesn't give it priority.
It's important to them, Captain. Joe and I promised to get it back.
What do you got on it?
Nothing much.
And why are you so big-hearted?
Burglary Friday. When? No. Don't say anything. No. Right. Claude Stroop. He just walked into the hotel. He's our suspect.
Nobody's leaked to him?
No.
He'll keep. You can run him down tomorrow.
It'll be too late then.
They need it for the first mass in the morning, Skipper. It's kind of a big thing for them.
I'm sorry. I can't juggle details around so you'd get a statue back. If there's time later on, we'll do our best.
Yes, sir.
You better get over to the station.
Yes, sir. Will you call Father Rojas over at the mission?
Why?
Tell him we're too busy to work on that statue.
Well, we'll do it later. Tomorrow or when we get a chance. Why can't you call him?
Well, we better get over to the station.
If Patterson's on that bus, we don't want to miss him.
All right, I'll call him.
Righty.
Yeah. I can send Fanning and Pryor over. You might as well stay on that other thing.
Whatever you say, Captain.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
p.m. We arrived at the Golden Dream Hotel. The desk clerk was right. Claude Stroop looked like a man who'd had his troubles at bargain rates. Your name, Claude Stroop?
Yes, sir.
Police officers. We'd like to talk to you.
I didn't do anything against the law. Honest, I didn't do anything against it.
You haven't been accused.
I want to take you downtown.
We'd like to talk to you.
No, sir, I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to talk to anybody.
You're half wrong already. .15 p.m. We returned Stroop for interrogation. He kept his word. He refused to talk. 6:05 p.m. Frank called Fay, told her he'd be a little late. Stroop didn't move for a whole hour. He sat and stared, but he didn't talk. 6:40 p.m. We got a final report from pawn shop detail. The shops were closed. There was no statue. Stroop still hadn't talked.
Don't you ever want to go home, Stroop? If I was to talk, you wouldn't let me go.
Depends on what you'd say.
I'd say it wrong, and I wouldn't get home.
You won't this way either.
I'd like to go. You can bet on that. This is the 7th year we had the program, and I never missed a one. Not a single one.
Why don't you tell us what happened, Stroop?
How would I know you'd let me go?
You wouldn't.
I might as well anyway.
All right, what happened from Mass on?
Well, there was Mass. I came out and started down toward the hotel.
Back up.
I left my stuff at the hotel, and then I picked up George's car. I didn't steal it. He said I could have it any time I wanted. Only this time I didn't ask him. I took it and started out.
Well,
I should have asked, but I just didn't. I went over to Grand Avenue for the Christmas bulbs where this fellow sells them secondhand. It was coming out of the lot, but I did it.
Yeah.
The bumper must have caught the other car. Didn't leave too big a dent, but there was this long scratch. I got out and tried to wipe it off with my handkerchief. You know, spit on it like. Only it didn't do no good. I didn't think anybody saw. I don't know how you fellows found out about it.
I'll check auto records. Right. Stroop, we didn't bring you down here to talk about that.
You didn't?
No. There's a statue missing from the church. The statue of the child Jesus.
You mean I took it?
You took a bundle out of church?
Yes, sir. That was my other pants for the program tonight. I had a place sewed up and there was a button on it. You can check. But I wouldn't take a statue.
I don't think you would either. He's clear at auto records. Go on home.
For the program? You mean it's all right?
Good night, Stroop.
Good night. Merry Christmas.
Where to? Well, I don't know. We could stay and work on it tonight.
Wouldn't do any good. We won't find it.
I don't think so.
Tell you he's kidding the priest. Build his hopes up.
Might as well go tell him now. Merry Christmas. .27 p.m. We found Father Rojas. Frank told him how it was, that we couldn't get the statue back by morning, but that we'd keep trying during the week. He said he understood. We told him we had to get on. As Frank and I started to leave, the doors at the main entrance to the church opened. It was a good 200 feet away. It was hard to be sure, but it looked like a small boy drawing a bright red wagon behind him. When he got closer, you could see he was no bigger than a pint of milk. He was a luminous-eyed little Mexican boy with a face as young as yesterday. The priest seemed to know him.
Paquito?
In the back of the wagon was the missing statue of the child Jesus. He picked it up gently and walked up to the priest.
Padre Rojas?
He just stood there looking up at Father Rojas.
It's Paco Mendoza, the boy from the parish.
Ask him where he found it.
¿Dónde lo encontraste?
No lo encontré, lo cogí esta mañana.
He didn't find it, he took it.
Why?
¿Por qué?
Todos los años Paquito rezó por un camioncito rojo. Este año Paquito rezó al niño Jesús. Yo prometí al niño Jesús el primer viaje en mi camioncito.
He says all through the years he's prayed for a red wagon. This year he prayed to the child Jesus. He promised that if he got the wagon, the child Jesus would have the first ride in it.
¿Vendrá el diablo para llevar a Paquito?
He wants to know if the devil will come and take him to hell.
That's your department, Father.
No el diablo. Ese se llama Paquito mucho.
We crossed over to the sanctuary. With the help of Father Rojas, the young boy replaced the infant Jesus in its rightful place, the crib in the nativity scene. Frank and I could have been wrong, but the small plaster statue seemed to approve. Mary, Joseph, the wise men, Gaspar, Melchior, Balthazar, the old shepherd, the young shepherd, the peasant, they all seemed to approve.
Vuelve a tu casa, Paquito.
The priest told the boy to go home. He took hold of his wagon and started the long walk out of the church. There wasn't much we could say. There wasn't much to say. We just stood there and watched him go. Halfway up, he turned to look back. And he went on out.
I don't understand how we got that wagon today. Don't kids wait for Santa Claus anymore? It isn't from Santa Claus. The firemen fix old toys and give them to new children. Paquito's family, they're poor.
Are they, Father?
The story you have just heard is true. The names and locations were changed.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dragnet. Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, July 6th. It was sunny in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner is Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We're on our way out from the office, and it was 8:23 a.m. when we got to the corner of Walton Avenue and Adams Boulevard. A used car lot office.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but you can't come in here.
We're police officers.
Oh, well, Frank Smith?
That's right. My partner, Sergeant Friday.
How do you do? My name's Binion, John Binion.
How are you?
I thought the door was locked. Didn't want anyone to come in until you fellas got here.
Are you the owner?
Yeah.
Did you put in the call?
That's right. When I found out I'd been robbed.
You want to tell us what happened?
I sure do. Only one trouble.
What's that, sir?
Not much I can tell you. Opened the door this morning, same as usual. Came in, hung up my hat, and sat down at the desk.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have noticed anything was wrong, but I promised my wife I'd type her jingle first thing when I got here.
What's that?
A jingle. Wife works all the contests and papers, magazines, you know.
Oh, yeah.
She writes them in longhand, then I have to type them.
Uh-huh.
That takes up my time, but it makes her happy and keeps peace in the family.
Yeah, you want to go on?
I sat down at the desk. Opened the door on this side. See?
Yeah.
Reached in to pull the typewriter up into position. No typewriter.
It was gone, huh?
Yeah. Knew something was wrong. I'd used it yesterday just before I locked up the place.
I see.
I looked around to see if anything else was missing. The adding machine and my desk fountain pen are gone, too.
Now, how about the outside? Are there any cars missing?
Yeah. One. A 1953 Dodge. I was saving the real bad news to last.
All right, we'll need a description, the color, the model, the engine number.
Mm-hmm. I knew you'd want it. Got it all right here on this card. Here you go.
Okay. Better call this in, huh?
Yeah. Leighton print from the lab, too.
Right.
You can use either phone.
Thank you.
Can you give us the serial numbers on the typewriter and the adding machine?
Have to talk to Mabel first. She has them filed someplace.
That's your secretary?
Yeah. This is her day off.
Well, now, as far as you know, then, you've told us about everything that was taken.
Yeah?
Were these windows locked when you came in?
Yeah. I never open them. Don't have to. Place is air-conditioned.
Uh-huh. You say the front door was locked, huh?
Yeah. Extra key is gone from the board, though.
Fellas will be right out there.
All right. What were you saying about those keys?
Want to step over here? I'll show you. Now, these are the keys for the cars on the lots. All labeled. Here's where the keys for the Dodge were.
Mm-hmm.
This hook had the extra key for the front door.
Binion, how many keys are there for the office?
3. I have one. Mabel has one. The other one was on the board.
How long has she worked for you?
Mabel?
That's right.
About 8 years. If you think she had anything to do with this, forget it. I'd as soon accuse my own wife.
We can understand it, Binion, but we'll have to talk to her.
All right. I'll call Mabel and have her come down.
We'd appreciate that.
I know she didn't have anything to do with this. I'll give you odds on that. Anyway, I've read in the papers recently where there have been other burglaries like this.
Yeah.
My money says it's somebody with experience.
Maybe.
You must have some idea who's doing it.
Well, we're working on it.
In other words, you don't have us to go on.
Not a lot.
Doesn't sound too good for me. I mean, my chances of getting my property back.
We'll do what we can, sir.
I know, but if you don't have any leads, if they don't make any mistakes, there isn't much you can do, is there? Seems to me the thieves always have the edge.
Yeah, it begins that way.
Hmm?
They always start before we do. Crews from the crime lab and Leighton Prince went over to the office. John Binion's secretary came in, but after questioning her, we decided she had nothing to do with the crime. She went through her desk and told us that a check made out to her employer was missing. Binion called his bank, and they promised to notify him if the check was cashed and returned to them. We got the serial numbers on the adding machine and the typewriter, and we notified pawn shop detail. Bulletins were also sent to second-hand stores. The latest burglary was similar to others that we've been investigating. The thief's M.O. was no different than we had on file, and to date, we have been unable to make any recoveries. We talked to informants, but they could give us no leads to the identity of the burglar. The report from the crime lab was the same as on all the other thefts. Entry had been made through the door. The lock had not been forced, indicating either the use of a key or some instrument to pick the lock. Leighton Prince failed to find any usable fingerprints. Tuesday, July 14th, 10:31 a.m. Yeah, I got it. Burglary Friday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With your name? You have it now? All right, we'll be right out. Right, bye. It's Binion. He called from his bank.
Yeah?
I think he turned a lead.
What do you mean?
Stolen check was cashed. When we got to John Binion's office, he showed us the check. We compared the endorsement with his signature, and it proved to be a good forgery. The check had been cashed by a Sylvia Carnes. Frank and I drove to the address. It was a small bookstore at the corner of Citrus Avenue and Hollywood Boulevard. Miss Carnes was shown the check, and we asked if she remembered who'd given it to her.
Let me think now. John Binion. Not too good on people's names. Let me check the sales slips for that day. I should have a record of what he bought. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I forget names, but when I look at the books they buy, most of the time I can remember the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here they are.
You always write the name on cash sales?
Yes, it's a good way to build a mailing list. Mm-hmm. Here it is. John Binion on the 8th. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you remember anything about the man?
I might. May I have the slip, Mr. Friday?
Here you are.
From Blackboard to Back Bay. Oh, yes. This is by a country school teacher. Gave up the little red schoolhouse to become a private tutor. Tells about some of his problems and how he dealt with them. It's quite amusing.
Yes, ma'am. But does it remind you of anything about the man?
No. Well, let's see what else he bought. Locks down through the ages. I never read that one. I guess it's about locks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm beginning to remember.
Yes, ma'am?
He said locks were a hobby with him. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, it might, but can you tell us anything about the man's looks?
Well, let's see. I guess he was about your size.
Me, ma'am?
No, he wasn't quite as... Well, he looked more like Mr. Friday.
Yeah.
How about his coloring?
Had dark hair. Straight.
Mm-hmm. Did he have any marks on his face that we might use to identify him?
Not that I recall.
Could you tell us anything about how he was dressed?
I'm afraid not. Other book was The Window Without Curtains. Now, that reminds me of something.
What's that?
His voice.
Yeah.
Seemed almost too precise, too perfect.
Did you notice any accent?
No.
Was there anything else you can tell us about his looks?
No.
What kind of identification did he show you?
A driver's license.
And it was made out to John Benyon?
That's right. I copied the name to the sales slip from it.
That's the only identification he showed you?
Yes, I didn't ask for any more. He seemed to know a lot of the business people in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mentioned them by name, said he lived near here before he got married.
I see.
No, I've been in business for 6 years. This is my first loss on the check.
That's right.
I've always been so careful. This man, though, he seems so honest, so polite.
Mm-hmm.
He's sure rough on me. I have to suffer the loss. Check was for $30. He only bought $10 worth of books. I gave him $20 of my own money. It's a real loss, I can tell you.
Well, yes, ma'am. There's one thing in your favor.
What's that?
He's going to feel it more than you will. From what Sylvia Carnes told us, we knew that our suspect was also a forgery artist, or he had connections that could furnish him with suitable identification. Assuming the suspect might still live in the neighborhood, we spent the rest of the day questioning people in the area. We failed to come up with any leads. The next day, we started to canvass again. The manager of a small hotel told us that a man named Paul DeRoe was living there who could fit the partial description we had. In the manager's company, we went upstairs to look through the room.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
The picture on the wall, some kind of certificate, too. Looks like it's written in German. Want to take a look?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That looks like Dutch to me.
You see there? Guy's wearing a 45. Looks like he's carrying an American carbine.
He's not wearing any kind of a uniform.
Well, what he's trying to prove. Certificate probably says what it's for, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Let's find out if this is DeRoe in this picture here. Mr. Bleeker, will you take a look at this and tell us if it's DeRoe?
Yeah, sure.
What do you say?
He's younger here, but I'd say it's him.
All right, thank you. Frank?
This man, Joe.
Better see if Miss Carnes can make an identification from this picture.
Yeah, take a look at this. Just turned it.
Mm-hmm.
Found it up there on the shelf, wrapped in an oilskin tobacco pouch.
Yeah. Torsion bars, vibrator, ballpoint pick. It works. Looks like good steel, too, doesn't it?
Well, guess we got the right room.
Unless they all come with burglar kits. Frank and I continued to search the room. Besides the burglar kit, we found 3 books with the same titles as those bought with a stolen check. Sylvia Carnes identified the picture as being the same man that had passed the check. We called the office and asked them to run the name and description of Paul DeRoe through R&I. A local and an APB were gotten out on the suspect. Frank and I went back to the hotel and decided because of the physical setup of the lobby, it would be better to wait in the suspect's room. The manager took over the desk, and we arranged for him to notify us with one long ring on the phone when DeRoe asked for his key. 3 hours went by. 9:13 p.m. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, hold it right there.
Oh.
Get the light, Frank.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Police officers, what are you doing here?
You're police, eh?
That's right. Who are you?
Paul sent me up here.
Paul DeRoe?
That's right.
Where's he now?
Why do you want to know?
Come on, lady. Where is he?
Waiting for me.
Where?
Outside in the car.
Is he still waiting?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, he left me off at the door. There wasn't any place to park.
All right, go ahead.
He was going to drive around the block and pick me up.
What kind of a car is he driving?
Well, I'm not sure.
You rode in it, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, don't you know what kind it is?
I didn't pay any attention.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, he drives so many different kinds.
We took the girl, Darlene Potter, with us, and we went down to the lobby. She was instructed to go out to the street and meet DeRoe. Frank and I followed her. There was no car waiting outside the hotel. On the chance that he might have parked and was waiting for the girl, Frank went up the street and then crossed to the other side. I walked down the street toward our car. Duro failed to show up. We went back to the hotel and asked the manager to call us if the suspect returned, and then we took the girl down to the city hall. During the trip, she maintained she didn't know what make car he was driving. She said he told her that he was an automobile salesman, but he also worked as a private teacher. We ran her name through R&I, but we found no record. The run on the name Paul Duro had failed to turn a package. Leighton French was requested to go over Duro's room, 10:02 p.m. We continued to interrogate Darlene Potter.
How long have you known Duro?
I told you before. 3 months.
Who did he say he worked for?
He never said.
Where did he teach?
Private homes.
Can you give us their names?
No, I can't tell you.
You don't know?
That's right. He just said he taught. Never said where.
What did he teach?
Language.
What language?
French, I think. You haven't told me what this is all about, but I'm sure there's a mistake. Paul wouldn't have to do anything wrong.
Why do you say that?
He's too intelligent.
Well, it doesn't look that way right now, does it?
Paul's a hero.
What else do you know about him?
What?
His background. Where's he from?
I'm not sure. I think he said something once about going to school in Paris.
Is he an American citizen?
I just assumed he was. He never said anything different.
Uh-huh.
Can't you tell me what he's done?
We'd like to talk to him about some burglaries and some car thefts.
Paul wouldn't steal.
Well, maybe so, ma'am. We've got good reason to think he did.
Well, there's some mistake. It doesn't fit with the kind of person he is.
How do you mean that?
It might not make much sense to you.
Well, give us a try.
Paul was in the war.
And so?
Yes, maybe you saw the picture and citation in his room.
Yeah, we did. What about it?
He fought with the Dutch underground forces.
He told you that, did he?
Yes. He only talked about it once or twice. I think he was in that group. I don't remember the name, but they went in and organized the resistance forces before the invasion.
Uh-huh.
You're pretty sure Paul is the man you want?
Looks that way, yes, ma'am.
It's hard to believe. But there's a reason for it. I guess he took a lot of chances during the war. Must have changed him.
He hasn't changed. Further interrogation of Darlene Potter convinced us that she knew the suspect only as a friend. When we drove her home, she gave us a more recent snapshot of Duro. The next day, copies were made and distributed to radio patrol units. Frank and I went back to the hotel to make another check of the room to try and find something that might lead us to any of his friends or associates. We found a list of names and addresses under a desk blotter. The first 4 people that we talked to all told us the same thing. They said that the man known as Paul Duro was a private tutor for their children. The only address that any of them had for him was the hotel. At 2 of the homes, we were told he came to teach on Wednesdays. One party said he came on Saturdays, and the other one said he came on Tuesdays. 4:03 p.m. We identified ourselves and were admitted to a home on Chatham Drive by a Mrs. Grace Findlay.
Won't you gentlemen be seated?
Thank you very much.
Well, what was it you wanted to see me about?
Well, Miss Findlay, we'd like you to look at this picture and tell us if you recognize this man. There you are.
Certainly. Why, yes, that's Paul Duro.
Wonder if you'd mind telling us what you know about him.
Well, I'm not sure I understand just what you mean.
Well, is he a friend of the family?
Yes, in a way. He's the children's French teacher.
Uh-huh.
He's not in trouble with the police, is he?
We'd like to talk to him.
I hope it isn't serious.
Well, it might be, Miss Finley.
Serious enough to have him put in jail?
Might be.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's been so wonderful with the children.
Mm-hmm.
He's the 3rd teacher we've had. Somehow they never liked the others, but they're just crazy about Paul. You're certain he's done something wrong?
We'd like to find him and get his side of the story. Now, do you have a home address for him?
Yes. Does he know you're looking for him?
We wouldn't know that, ma'am.
It's strange.
How's that?
Well, I was thinking if you're looking for him and he knows it, it's odd he called here today.
You talked to him today?
Yeah. Thursdays he gives the children their instructions.
Yes, ma'am.
He said he'd be here at 5 o'clock.
With Mrs. Findlay's permission, Frank drove our car into the garage, and then we waited for Duro to arrive. While we were waiting, Mrs. Findlay told us that when Duro had applied for the job, he'd showed her several letters of recommendation from families in the East. Because of his intelligence and her children's instant liking for him, she hadn't made a check on his background. She went on to say that she had noticed him driving several different makes of cars, but she couldn't give us a description of any of them. 5:06 p.m. The front doorbell rang.
That must be him. I hope there's no trouble.
All right, you wait here, Miss Findlay.
All right.
Don't worry about it. Now, hold it right there, Duro, police officers.
This is hardly the reception expected.
All right, move over. Put both hands up against the door. Come on, move.
We used the same method.
Frank?
Yeah, he's clean, sir. I could have told you, gentlemen, that I'm not in the habit of coming to a client's home carrying a gun.
All right, turn around and get your hands behind your back.
Couldn't we dispense with the handcuffs? This is rather embarrassing.
Well, you'll get used to it.
I was thinking about the children. I don't want them to see me like this.
You should have thought about that sooner. Better get the car, huh?
Right. I imagine this is about the check I cashed?
A few other things.
I worked with the Americans during the war.
That's so?
I learned a good many things about them. Very resourceful, brilliant, and eager to help the less fortunate.
You forgot one thing, didn't you?
What's that?
They don't like to be robbed. We contacted the office and had them send another team out to pick up the car Duro had driven and take it down to the police garage. On the way down to the city hall, the suspect told us he'd been in this country about 6 months. He refused to talk about anything except what a great country he thought America was. Frank went to check with DMV on the suspect's car, and I took Duro to the interrogation room.
It's wonderful. It's the only place in the world to live.
Yeah, well, all right, Duro. We got the idea you're sold on this country. Now let's get on to cases and talk about the reason we're here. How about it?
It might as well be now as later.
All right, fine. You want to start by telling us what you did with this stuff?
I spent the money. The books are in my room.
What about the other things you stole?
Oh, there must be some mistake. I didn't steal anything.
Well, you cashed a forged check, didn't you?
Yes, I admit that.
And the check was stolen?
It's possible, but I didn't take it.
You expect us to buy that, Duro?
That's entirely up to you.
Where'd you get it?
If I said I found it, could you prove otherwise?
It won't be necessary. We can nail you on a forgery rap right now.
That's what I had in mind. I had no desire to be connected with anything else.
Well, you seem pretty anxious to pick up that tab.
Well, it's only right. I took a chance and lost. I'm willing to settle for my mistake.
Yeah, well, that's real big of you, but I got a hunch we'll be able to tag you with more than a 470.
Sure, let me see it.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I'm not sure now we got the right guy in the car theft.
What?
I checked with DMV. The car Duro was driving is registered to a Seward car company. I called him.
Yeah.
They tell me he works for him.
We continued to question Duro, but he refused to admit any knowledge of the burglaries and the car thefts. He was booked on suspicion of 470 PC and taken to the main jail. The next morning, the owner of the bookstore identified the suspect in a show-up. We questioned him again, but he failed to admit anything but the check forgery. 9:23 a.m. Frank and I returned to the office.
You gotta hand it to the guy. He's cool.
Yeah, but he's too ready to buy in on that 470.
Yeah, I'll check the book.
All right.
Here's a number for you to call, Joe.
Is there any name on it?
Yeah, a fellow named Eiler.
Give any reason for the call?
Nope.
Hello, I'd like to speak to Mr. Eiler, please. This is Sergeant Friday, Police Department. That's right. I see. All right, sir, we'll be right out. Do you want to give me that address? 347. Right, thank you. Fellow runs a garage, saw the spread on our suspect in the morning paper.
Yeah?
He says from the description they gave, Duro was in his garage.
Uh-huh.
Brought a car in to be painted. Frank and I drove out to the garage, and when we showed Duro's picture to Frank Eilers, he identified him as the man who'd brought in a Nash sedan to be repainted. We checked the engine number and found it listed as stolen. We went back to the office.
Here's that FBI kickback.
Did you read it?
No, I just picked it up.
Yeah, listen to this. Paul J. Duro, alias Paul Dawson, alias Peter Duncan. True name, Philip Paul Dorrance.
Got much of a record?
You'd have to take a day off to read it all. Served terms for burglary in GTA. He's been at all the best hotels. Joliet, Sing Sing, Atlanta. Born and raised in this country.
What about that war record?
Joliet, 1938 to 1946.
How do you like that? Well, he sure went to a lot of trouble. Having his picture taken and that get-up and that phony certificate. The way that picture looked. All those trees and the countryside. Sure looked like Holland to me, didn't it to you, Joe?
Well, that's our big trouble.
What do you mean?
We never been to Holland. We went back to the main jail and had the suspect brought to the interview room. He still denied any connection with the burglaries and the car thefts. 12:16 p.m.
With my war record, I don't have to be subjected to
Now,
this.
look, we got you made on the check, and it won't be hard to prove you stole that car. Your story falls apart like a $4 suit.
I have great admiration for the Americans.
Yeah, you've been telling us that.
I managed to escape situations more difficult than this during the war. I was trained for it.
Yeah, you told us.
Of course, there was some difference then. We were all on the same side and fighting for the same things.
You know you're doing a lot of talking, but you're not saying anything.
I'll tell you what you want to know.
You do that.
Yes,
Well, all right, go ahead.
I will. But first, I'd like to tell you about the shoes.
About what?
Shoes.
What about it?
I fought with the Dutch underground. Now, for a man to fight, two things are important.
Is that so?
A gun and a good pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us who wanted to fight had neither. One of your OSS men contacted us and said we would get them. And one night a plane came over and dropped containers by parachute.
Yeah.
The man kept his promise. We got guns, the fine carbines, and we got shoes. When daylight came, I looked at mine very closely. They had stamped on them, made in America.
Yeah.
And that's when I made up my mind.
You did?
Yes, I decided that someday I would come to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I knew if I wasn't killed, I'd come here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story, isn't it?
Yes, and I regret that I'll lose my chance to become a citizen. They may even deport me for this.
No farther than the nearest jail.
Now, please don't make light of my predicament. I admit I made this one
Oh,
mistake.
come on, look, settle down, will you? I can buy a better story than yours in any magazine.
All right. I didn't want to do this, but I insist that you call the Dutch consul.
They never heard of you.
Well, there must be a mix-up of some sort. Somebody must know me.
Yeah, sure, every prison warden in the United States. You've got a record that'll reach from here to Holland, but that's the closest you ever been. Your real name's Philip Dorrance. The only war you ever fought was in the prison library over the daily papers. You've been in and out of every joint in the country. Now, there's more. Do you want the rest of it?
No, I guess that's enough, isn't it? I might as well admit it. I'm a burglar and a car thief.
You left one out.
What?
You're a liar.
Paul Michael Durrell was tried and convicted of burglary in the second degree, 3 counts, grand theft auto, 3 counts, and forgery, 1 count. He received sentence as prescribed by law. Burglary in the second degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 1 or more than 15 years. Grand theft auto is punishable by imprisonment for not more than 10 years. Forgery is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 1 or more than 14 years.
Dragnet, the story of your police force in action, is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. For the past 3 weeks, a strong-arm hold-up man has been terrorizing the downtown area. You've got a description of the thief and a method of operation for him. Your job? Find him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, May 3rd. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detective Thad Brown. My name's Friday. I was on the way back to the office. It was 4:02 p.m. when I got to room 27. Robbery.
Hi, Joe.
Hi. Jim, how's it going?
Pretty good.
What do you got here?
That's a new gimmick they're trying.
What's it do?
Suppose let all of us in the room hear what comes over the hotshot phone?
You mean without picking it up, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How's it work?
Well, look, I'll show you. See, this knob here is the volume control.
Mm-hmm.
You just turn it on, put the phone on it, like this. You have to adjust this little gizmo so it fits the earpiece. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. Where do we hear it?
Through that speaker over there.
Uh-huh.
We got another one hooked up in the squad room.
Well, we ought to be able to hear it any place then, huh?
Yeah. You don't have to get up and pick up the receiver. You can hear the whole call.
Should make it a lot easier.
We going to keep it?
We're just trying it out. The way it looks, we'll leave it in.
Ought to save a lot of steps.
Yeah. Called a phonodeck, huh?
Yeah, works good. Lot better than trying to juggle a phone on your shoulder and write at the same time. And the desk man doesn't have to repeat what's said to everybody in the room.
That's all right. I only got one question.
What's that?
Wilson and Market Street, southeast corner, 211 and Slugging.
Never mind. I just got the answer.
Huh?
It works.
Wilson and Market Street, southeast corner, 211 and Slugging.
Frank, Jim Austin, and I left the city hall. There was no way of telling from the hotshot call if the suspect was the one we were looking for or not, but either way, we had to check it out. It took us 3 minutes to get to the scene. An ambulance was in the area, and they'd answered the call. The attendant was giving the victim first aid. She was a woman in her late 50s or early 60s.
Please. Oh, do something. I can't stand much more. Please do something.
Right, if we talk to her?
Oh.
Yeah, make it brief. We got to move her in as soon as we can.
All right. Lady, I'm a police officer. I've got to talk to you.
Oh, go away. I can't talk to anybody. Can't you give me something? Please, it hurts so.
Oh, we'll take care of her. You just try to relax.
You got a name on her?
Cards there, Myra McFadden.
Miss McFadden, can you tell us who did it?
No reason. I'd given him money. He didn't have to kick me.
Was it one man?
When she asked for it, I'd given it to him.
Did you see who it was?
I can't stand it anymore, please.
What's wrong with her here?
The leg's broken. Bad fracture went through the skin.
Can you tell us what happened, Miss McFadden?
He tried to grab my purse. I didn't know. He tried to take it away from me.
Yes, ma'am.
I wouldn't let him have it, and then he kicked me in the back, and I fell. Something happened to my leg. Oh, please do something, please.
Just a minute, Miss McFadden.
Oh, God, please help me.
Excuse me, Sergeant. I'll have to give her morphine injection.
Sure, right ahead.
Oh. Oh.
Was it a man?
Yes.
Was he tall?
Yes.
About 5'8" to 5'10", maybe?
I don't know.
Or was he dark?
Yes.
Did he say anything to you at all?
No. He just kicked me and I fell down.
Was he wearing a coat?
What?
Was he wearing a coat?
Coat?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I don't know. He just kicked me and I fell down. And my leg doesn't hurt anymore. I can hardly feel it. Not anymore. It doesn't hurt now. No.
We'll take her in now.
Right. What'd you find out, Jim? Anything?
Talked to the newsboy on the corner.
Did he see it?
At the beginning. Heard the woman scream, turned around, saw the guy bring his knee up into her back, dropped her on the sidewalk.
Did he get a look at him?
Yeah, the fellow took off down that way. Newsboy ran after him. When he realized he couldn't tag him, he came back, called the ambulance.
How about a description?
Gave that to the other fellows. They got it out.
Well, how's it line up to you two?
All the way. It's the guy we're looking for.
Well, he switched his MO. He's hitting in the daytime now.
Yeah.
Something else, that old lady. She's getting braver all the time. We talked to the witness. From what he told us about the suspect, it was the same person we were after. There was only one change in his method of operation. Instead of waiting for darkness, he was now hitting in the daylight hours. During the time we'd spent on the case, the staff's office had made several runs trying to give us some kind of a lead. Everything about the suspect had been checked and rechecked. Special show-ups were arranged, and possible suspects were shown to the victims. In spite of all our efforts, the suspect continued to run free. Wednesday, May 5th, Frank and I stopped for dinner across the street from the city hall.
The big thing now.
What's that?
Mambo. Mambo. Dance step. Faye's been trying to get me to learn. She sees it on TV all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Faye says a man looks sophisticated when he does it.
That's what she says, huh?
Yeah. You think it would?
Would what?
Make me look sophisticated.
You want me to be honest?
Sure, Joe.
I don't think anything could do that for you.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, old buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell Faye. Keep her off my back about taking them lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, hi, Dick. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Donahoe said you was over here.
Uh-huh. It's my partner, Frank Smith. This Dick Blake writes for the L.A. Examiner.
Hi. Haven't seen you for a while, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Dick.
Want a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. I just had dinner.
You looking for something special, Dick?
I'd like to get a story on the strong-arm man you fellas are after. Anything you can give me?
No, you got about all of it.
What about the McFadden woman? Is she going to be all right?
Well, I haven't heard anything.
I called the county hospital this afternoon.
Yeah?
Said her leg's been set. Going to take some time to heal. They're giving her a new kind of serum.
She's going to be all right, though, huh?
They're not sure yet. They don't know if there's any injury to her spine.
Yeah, sure, a rough one.
Well, that's the way this guy does business.
We've been getting calls for the last 10 days, letters to the editors, everything.
You can get in line, Dick. It's been coming at us from all sides.
What do you got on them?
Well, we ought to put out a mimeographed answer to that.
We can take a lot of paper.
Is there anything I can have?
It's no secret. Most of the victims have told us the same story. Guy comes up to him and starts a conversation.
About a ride someplace, cup of coffee, anything slow the victim down from leaving.
First chance he gets, he slams the victim into a wall and asks for the money.
Now, before the McFadden woman, he worked at night, didn't he?
Yeah.
What about his choice of victims? A possible tie-in there?
Not that we can find. Anybody on the street is right.
You got a description on him?
Yeah, white male American, around 30, dark hair, dark eyes, 165 pounds, 5'8", 5'10".
That's a couple of thousand people.
Yeah. Now, what about the area he's working? Is there anything there?
Well, seems to make most of his pickups down around the plaza.
Now, what about the victims themselves?
What do you mean?
Well, they usually look like they're carrying money or
No,
what?
not all the time. Last week he beat up a serviceman in civilian clothes. He took $44 from him. Kid didn't look like he had a dime in his pocket.
Yeah.
Nothing about this guy fits a pattern, Dick.
There's only one thing we can drop in a pocket. He's mean. The way it works, the kick he gets out of beating up a person, it's got to mean more than just money to him.
Yeah. Well, one more thing. How close are you?
Outside a country mile.
Yeah.
Half the division's been on his tail. This keeps up, and Metro's going to ask for an increase in budget to hire more men. We got the area covered like rain, and he don't get wet.
Well, I got to get back to the office. Write something.
Try to take it easy on us, will you?
Look, we're on your side. Now, thanks for the help.
Okay, see you around, huh?
Right. So long, Frank.
Hey, cool, huh?
Yeah. Anything comes up, let me know, huh?
We get something, you'll hear about it.
Sure like to get a break on the story.
Well, we're both even there.
Huh?
So would we. For the next week, the patrol of the streets continued. The strong-arm bandit hit 3 more times. Each time, the victim and the witnesses gave us the same description. It matched the suspect we were looking for. Thursday, May 13th, 7:52 p.m. We got back to the squad room.
Anything come in?
Yeah. Kick back on Whitey.
How's it look?
No good.
What do you mean?
Well, according to Bratton, he's been in jail for the last 2 months.
Yeah?
He's waiting for trial in Stockton.
What does it say what he fell for?
Armed robbery.
Graduated, huh?
Yeah, looks like it. I get it. Robbery Friday. Hello? Yeah, well, could you speak up? I can't hear you. Yeah, that's better. How's that? Well, what was that name again? Yeah, well, now give me your name. No, we can't do much with that.
What do you got?
Fella says the name of the strong-arm bandit's Benny Jessup.
Well, what about the person who called?
Hung up.
Anonymous, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think?
That was one way to find out.
Yeah?
Ask Benny Jessup. After we checked the name through R&I, Frank and I went out to Benny Jessup's address.
Yeah?
Benny Jessup?
Hell, what do you want?
You Benny Jessup?
Yeah.
Police officers want to talk to you.
You looking for something special?
A couple of questions we want to ask you.
Sure, I got no beef with the cops. Appreciate it if you keep it short. I got big trouble. But this seltzer might help.
Must have got a hold of some bad food. Really. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What's it all about?
You ever been arrested, Jessup?
Yeah, look, it'd be a lot easier and faster if I started off telling you I've been in the route, huh? You guys checked the record before you came up here. You know I fell once for burglary. You know I'm free now. Don't owe nobody nothing. Let's go from there.
All right, you got a job?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a candy butcher.
What's that?
I sell candy.
Where?
One of the theaters downtown.
When do you work?
Nights.
Name them.
Monday through Saturday.
What hours?
Check in at 4, work till 11, 11:30.
How come you're not there tonight?
I told you, I'm sick.
How long you had the job?
Oh, a couple of years.
Anybody at the theater to back that up?
What do you mean?
Well, anybody will say you're there.
Look, you better tell me what this is about, huh? I'm not hung up on anything. I got no part of any action you guys are in on.
Well, it comes down to one thing. If you can prove you're working every night, you're clean.
Yeah, I know that now.
How do you sell this candy? Where are you in the theater when you work?
All over, storeroom, lobby, all over.
You got a regular stand, or you work in the aisles?
Stand in the lobby.
Somebody there to take the tickets?
Yeah.
Well, he ought to be able to tell us in, shouldn't he?
Tell you nothing. I've been working since I got out of the joint. You go down there and start asking a lot of questions, you're going to cause a lot of trouble.
Is that right?
Liable to get me fired.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, easy to say. You haven't got the job.
Better call and check, huh?
Yeah. You got a phone?
You see one around?
Give me the number.
I don't know it.
You work there, but you don't know the phone number.
I forgot.
Where is the place?
Corner 3rd and Weller.
What's the manager's name?
You got to talk to him?
Now, look, I can do it on the phone, or we can go on down there. How do you want it?
Name's Woodrum.
I'll check it, Joe.
Well, if you tell me what this is about.
If it fits, you'll know.
Who turned you on me?
What?
Look, who tried the box job? You got reason to come up here. I don't know what you're digging for, but I'm not around. Somebody gave you my name, didn't they?
We heard it.
Who?
If we told you the truth, you wouldn't believe it.
Somebody I know?
That's hard to say.
You just need 2 words.
What's that?
First and last name.
We got a call. We don't know who it was from. Person said we were looking for you.
And you barrel up here and roust me?
You got no rousting. We had to check it out.
What is it, burglary?
No.
Well, then I'm home free. Only thing I ever fell for. I learned.
How about it?
You talk to Woodrum?
Yeah.
What about my job?
His alibi hold?
He's been there every work night for the last 4 months.
I told you that.
All right, you're out, but somebody's on your back.
Nothing new. I've been carrying a lot of people.
All right, Jessup, we'll leave it right there. Keep your nose clean.
Thanks a lot, cop. I'm not sure I want you on my team.
Huh?
Look, what about my job? What did Woodrum say?
You got no trouble.
What do you mean?
He says take care of yourself.
Yeah?
Be at work tomorrow night.
We'll see you around, Jessup.
I didn't tell him everything.
What?
I talked to the manager on the phone. He filled me in.
Yeah.
You know the guy who called you?
Yeah, what about him?
He's an usher down there.
Yeah.
He wants to be a candy butcher.
Frank and I left Jessup and went downtown to talk to the theater manager in person. He verified the fact that Jessup had been at work during the hours of the robberies. Other people who worked in the theater were questioned. Their statements ruled out Jessup as our suspect. Another day went by. There were several strong-arm robberies in the downtown area, but none with the same viciousness used by our suspect. Saturday, May 15th, Frank and I got back to the office.
Hi, Joe. Frank.
Jim?
Hi.
What do you got there?
Talked to Skipper this afternoon. Had a meeting with Chief Brown.
Yeah.
They drew the line, said we got to come up with something.
Well, we got half the men at Metro working on it now. All the streets are covered. There's not much more we can do.
The guy's got to make a mistake. All we need is a little time.
Skipper just cut off the supply.
You have any ideas?
Yeah, I've been going over it. Take a look at this map.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the strong arms have been taking place in this area.
Yeah.
We've had cars here, along here, and covering the alleys in here.
Mm-hmm.
But suppose we put our own men in that area on foot.
Decoy system, huh?
Yeah, only thing we haven't tried.
Well, it might work.
Something to do.
How do we set it up?
Guy makes most of his pickups around the plaza, right?
That's right.
And we start from there. Each night, one of us walks around the streets, try to pick the guy up. Other 2 follow in a car.
So what's the captain think of the idea?
Haven't talked to him yet. He can't be. It's a possibility.
And when do we start?
How about tonight?
Well, let's go.
Wait a minute. Who's going to do the walking?
Doesn't make a lot of difference.
How about flipping a coin?
All right.
Odd man?
Fine.
That's one you didn't get, Joe.
Yeah.
I win.
I hope so. For the next 2 days, the plan was carried out. The thief didn't hit. We began to wonder if he'd quit his operation. Monday, May 17th, while Frank and Jim Austin followed me in Unit 1K80, I acted as decoy. 12:47 a.m. It looked like another wasted night.
got a match?
Yeah.
How about a cigarette?
Sure.
All right, how about a light? Give me your wallet.
Try and take it, huh?
Sidney! Sidney!
All right, fella, where are you going?
Let me go!
Okay. Get up there. Get your hands against the wall. Come on, move. All right, now get your hands in back of you.
All right. Come on, don't shout, cop.
Just do as you're told. It'll save you a lot of trouble. Jim?
Yeah, here you go.
All right, you. Hands down. Turn around. What's your name?
Why don't you find out?
We will. We want to save time.
Joe Schaefer.
What's your name, fella? What's your name?
You're not going to do any good with him.
What do you mean?
He's deaf. His hearing aid's broken. You're not getting through at all.
Is that so? Well, then you tell us his name.
Sidney Remler.
Just the two of you in this?
You see anybody?
I asked you a question.
You got an answer?
What'd you tell him? I can't hear what you said.
Never mind. I told you wouldn't get through to him.
You got it wrong.
Huh?
We'll get through.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Frank, Jim Austin, and I took the suspects to the city hall for questioning.
You guys got nothing on us.
You're sitting in the wrong place, fella.
That right?
We got you made on tonight. Time we get through, we'll tag you for at least 10 more counts.
You better stick to coffee.
Isn't anybody going to let me know what's going on?
Can't you fix that thing
We'll
for
get
me?
it taken care of.
Where do you guys live? Big, cop. That's what you pay
All
for.
right, we can do it the hard way if that's how you want it.
You're getting no help from me.
That works both ways.
You're whistling anyway. You maybe got us for tonight, that's all.
What's going on?
Oh, shut up.
Be careful what you tell them.
You guys work alone?
You got a reason to think there's anybody else?
We want you to tell us.
You're off your rocker, cop.
You better put a button on that mouth, Schaefer. The way you treated people doesn't give you a soft ticket.
Doesn't make any difference how I got it. I'm going to ride it all the way.
Yeah, well, you stick with that and see where you land.
Really off your rocker.
Isn't anybody going to tell me what's going on?
All right, take everything out of your pocket, Schaefer.
What?
Come on.
Just put it right there on the table. A lot of paper there. You always carry that much money?
Yeah.
How much is there?
I don't know.
You must have some idea.
Maybe $300-400.
You work for a living?
No.
Where'd you get the money?
From a bank.
What'd you use to take it out?
What?
A gun or a pen?
I didn't steal it if that's what you're trying to build.
A lot of money.
How'd you get it?
My old man left it to me.
Well, you don't work at all, then, huh?
No, I don't believe in it.
How about him?
No, he doesn't work either.
What did he say about me?
He wants to know if you work.
Huh?
He wants to know if you work.
No, none of us do. Giles, Dave, and me have incomes. None of us work.
Shut up.
Who's Dave?
I don't know.
Now, look, we're about through playing games with you. You come in here like you're 12 feet tall and try to throw your weight around. Well, it isn't going to work. The sooner you realize it, the better it's going to be for you. Now, how about it?
Who is he?
You know, we'll come up with it.
How much do you think he'll do to get you out of here?
What he can.
No, that's not going to hold your stuff. You can call it two ways, easy and yours. Now, which is it going to be? How about it?
What do you want to know?
This Dave, what's his full name?
Santel.
Was he with you in all the robberies?
Yeah.
What about tonight?
Stayed on.
Why?
He set up all the others. We figured we'd pull this one by ourselves.
Where's he now?
I don't know. Home, I guess.
Where's that?
An apartment out on Fountain.
That's in Hollywood?
Yeah.
What's the phone number?
What are you going to do?
Just give me the phone number, will you?
Hollywood 98844.
I'll dial it. You just talk.
You going to use the gadget, Joe?
Yeah, we might as well. We can all listen. It's Hollywood 98844.
Yeah.
And when he answers, you just talk right into that thing.
Hello.
Hello, Dave?
Yeah, this you, Giles?
Yeah.
Isn't he with you?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Pretty good.
You coming home right away?
Yeah.
I'll go out and get some beer. I should be back by the time you guys get in.
Okay, Dave. We'll see you.
As soon as you get home, we'll have a celebration, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give the girls a call. Sound all right to you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, one thing, though.
What's that, Dave?
You know that Helen always got a couple of crow girlfriends around. You better stop on the way home, huh?
What for?
Well, see if you can pick up a couple more guys.
We ran David Santel's name and description through R&I, and we found that he'd served a term at the county jail for violation of the State Narcotics Act. There was no record on either Giles Schaefer or Sidney Remler. Remler was taken to the main jail, and Frank and I, along with Jim Austin and Giles Schaefer, drove out to Santel's apartment. It was a large place in the Hollywood area. While Jim Austin stayed with the suspect, Frank and I checked with the manager. He told us that Santel had left a few minutes before we got to the place. The four of us went inside. All right, now you go on over there and sit down.
You guys sure throw muscle around.
Yeah, we got a long way to catch you.
All right, what am I supposed to do when Dave comes back?
Just sit there and keep your mouth shut.
You know, it's going to be pretty interesting.
What's that?
The expression on your face when the judge turns us loose.
Well, don't make book on that.
The place is clean, Joe.
Right.
You guys never do one honest day's work, and you always live high, don't you? Stay there, Schaefer.
Aren't you all set?
Yeah.
Watch it,
Now, is there anything else you want to throw?
No.
You cause me more trouble, I'll make a hole in you big enough to walk through.
All right.
Turn around.
Nice, clean. Put your hands down.
You don't need those. I'm not going to give you any trouble.
Let's make sure.
I told you not to put those on me. Try to muscle us, cop. I got a lawyer. You're going to be on the carpet for this. Time we get through with you, I'll have you walking the beat so far out, you'll be lucky to get home on weekends.
You know, you punks make me sick to my stomach. You lean on some old man or woman, you strong-arm a serviceman, you got about as much guts as an underfed worm.
Why don't you save it for the court,
You sit on your mouth, fella. I'll let you know when I'm through. I'm going to tell you something. You remember what happened to you tonight. You put it on the wire and get it around to the rest of the two-bit bums that work this same filthy operation. You tell them every time they put the arm on an old man, every time they slug a serviceman, they're never going to know. It might be a cop, and if it's not, there'll be four of us waiting in the next doorway. So before you roll that next victim, you think about that, will you?
You got it all off your chest now?
No, I got one more thing for you. You're going to jail, and we're going to drop every book we got on you. There's a mirror in the car. On the way in, you look at it and smile.
What for?
Be happy you still got all those teeth.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On September 14th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Giles Herbert Schaefer, David Arthur Santel, and Sidney Thomas Remler were tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree, 14 counts, and received sentence as prescribed by law. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for not less than 5 years on each count. Because of the viciousness shown by the suspects, their sentences were set to run consecutively.
Dragnet is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.